right, folks, we're live at the East Coast Black Age of Comics. It's a long amalgam of.
Bro, you said it for me. You already did, man. But right now, we're about to have an interview with two brothers of
Tuskegee
Heirs. Tuskegee Heirs, man. So go ahead and state your name, please.
Yeah, this is Marcus Williams.
And this is Greg Burnham.
I have seen you guys' artwork for like years.
For the last 2 years.
2 years at least.
2 years for me. 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years at least. And I like the artwork, and I think the one thing that stuck out to me was your guys' at least the influence of Matt Cross, especially. So was that kind of like the thing that y'all were doing going into it and stuff? Just was that y'all guys' influence, just that, and y'all just worked from there?
Was what?
Matt Cross. Basically.
I would say anime. I mean, everything from the late 80s, early 90s. Voltron, Gundam, Macross, all of that stuff. Anime period. Because a lot of people just didn't really, but, it was that. And then the inspiration of how come there's no such thing as a all-black cast, driving giant robots. I haven't seen that. I love all these other things, but...
I mean, you get one dude in Robotech.
Yeah, that's about it.
And it stops there.
The one brother in Robotech. I can't even remember him in there.
Yeah, I don't even remember his name.
Right, and so that was another inspiration, as well as kids don't know anything about the history. The Tuskegee Airmen. So it was kind of all of these motivations. I was already doing Young Heroes artwork, which is to really grab kids' attention, seeing themselves as representation artwork, because a lot of kids don't know anything about the superheroes that are published. So I just made them young, so they can see themselves first. And then we had a conversation with an older gentleman that was like, man, these kids don't know nothing about aviation. It'd be good if you did some art about some pilots. I was like, you know what? I was thinking about doing some young Tuskegee Airmen pilots. Just some art. And he lit up, man, and Greg was sitting next to me. He was like, you know what, man? We need to write that tonight. So, yeah, we did.
Like, I see some of the inspiration. We already said Robotech, but when it comes to that, like, just like in particular when it comes to Mac, at least the Mac one.
Yes.
Because I noticed that with the Tuskegee Heirs, I like the fact that it is kind of a mix of, I just say in particular, it looks like a Record 7 to me.
Yeah.
It looks just like a Record 7 to me, and at least in the type of the feel that it gives off. Was that the whole point when you went into it? That's the whole point when you were trying to get
I looked at Macross designs for inspiration, and then I said, okay, I can't look nothing like theirs.
Of course.
So, but the inspiration from that cartoon was they had jets that trained into robots.
Yeah.
And so that was on purpose to say, if anyone was fans of that, I want that to scream out to them and say, but, our pilots are descendants, or, they inherit the legacy of these great World War II pilots. So it comes together to say there's a reason they are really good at piloting these jets and turns into robots, so it makes sense. At the same time, it's absolute homage to Macross and all that Gundam. Young kids piloting these incredibly large robots.
I mean, kids like robots, so that's like basically a combination of both. Like, hey, robot, let's go.
Yeah.
Man,
it was on purpose.
And I think it was purposely done to make them, like you said, teenage age, like young,
yes,
of course.
Absolutely. Yeah, again with the representation. When I was a kid, if I would have saw anything that looked like that, I would have been drawn in every day.
We would have been lost. We would have lost our minds. Man. We lost our minds seeing Bishop with a mullet, and we was like, "Yo, that's one of us."
Look, I don't care what he's doing.
Yeah, we didn't care.
I don't care how stereotypical they're making him. I don't care. Let's do it.
Like, let's do it, man. We in this. We done made it.
I mean, because I always tell people, I'm like, you guys have it so. Because again, we're like so old. We're like older now. It's like you guys are so lucky. Back in my day, we did this. It's like now. It's like you guys got like everything now. Really.
Man, for us, we can say we started seeing the pioneers.
Yeah.
The pioneers start showing up, the ones that we always follow. Like, that's the only black guy. That's the only black guy.
Yeah.
So our parents, like, black people on television, what? We all had that. We didn't have none of that.
I guess in terms of like anime inspirations and stuff, I mean, do you have like any like top pick? I mean, I'm taking Macross on the table and stuff.
Yeah.
Was there any particular anime that you were like inspired?
As a kid or as an adult?
Just adult, kid, or whatever.
I say my favorite anime man is Cowboy Bebop. I love the composition, I love the story, I love the characters, the mix of funny and serious, and that whole, like the music, all of that whole production to me kind of blew me away, and I went back to watch it again recently, and it still happened the same way. I was like, man, why did they choose to do this? So Cowboy Bebop set the bar as far as storytelling. So I love that one. Man, I mean, there's so many anime, man. You had Ninja Scroll was dope when I saw it. All the classic ones that are, hard to recreate even still to this day. But I mean, Transformers. I was loving all of these old school, all the '90s stuff. Intro to Thundercats.
As far I've been watching cartoons and everything forever. So I was inspired. I'm probably a bit older than what people think. I was inspired by the old G.I. Joe, Mask, Transformers, and then I was getting older, so I'm playing sports and into music and all of that. And I saw my homeboy. We used to watch a lot of karate, kung fu movies. And my boy was like, "Man, we about to watch this Ninja Scroll." I was like, "What?" And then I watched it, and it was like a gut punch. Like, what the, it was so dope. You know what I'm saying? And then I remember when I watched Graveyard of the Fireflies, that movie, because I'm like,
wrestling movie.
No, but I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch this. I got this. I'm gonna see. My kids were really little. Maybe they'll like it. And 5 minutes in, I was like, no. You guys go play. But the thing about it was it took, it just opened up and let you know there's so much that you can do with animation that's not the regular, And so me not being a hardcore anime fan at that time, especially, it was like, wow, this, maybe it's time for us to be able to tell our stories, Because they're not everybody's doing the cut and dry regular stuff, So I think that, that kind of stuff really sparked and propelled me to, even find out how to get to somebody like him and start putting stories together,
Right. So, we were talking to one of the guys here, and we were talking about getting into animation stuff, and we were talking before we started this. I was like, this would be a good animation, but I know it's very hard to break into that little medium and stuff like that. Do y'all see I don't know, 6-7 years down the road, they could maybe transform this into some sort of mini-series animated form? I mean, can y'all see that?
We have a more aggressive goal than that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
There's some behind-the-scenes stuff that's happening. We've talked to different people. We're making connections, and we're starting to make the allies to where we can actually start down that road in a serious manner. So we've been studying. There's more than one way to get an animated series done, So we've been studying, and we think that we understand which is going to be the best route for us to go, to where we can maintain some control. Because the first thing that we hear from the big, normal studios is, would you guys mind making one of these characters Latino or something? And I'm like, I can make them Afro-Latino. Yeah, that's cool.
That's what I want to ask. How serious is that? Because I hear people say it too. There's certain different. This is where it's either blatant. No, we need X amount of white people in here. Or would you think it'd be better if you just do that more than that? How true is that?
It's super prevalent. So we went into it with an understanding of that three.
Three or more.
The McDuffie rule.
Yeah. If there's more than three, it's automatically considered
a black show.
It's going to be marketed towards that, so there might be some malt liquor commercials. That's a joke, but hopefully they won't do that with this type of show. But so that's something that we've been fighting against forever, right?
So that means that I won't see just affiliated with Popeyes or
right.
We're gonna fight it.
Tuskegee Heirs, sponsored by Popeyes.
Yeah, we're gonna fight it. And Slits malt liquor, we're not trying to do that. But so that is real. That is real.
Yeah.
So the good thing about it is we have social media. We've been able to accumulate fans. We've been selling tons of books. Right. We have all this data that we can bring in and say, hey, people are liking it the way they are, right? But still, once you give over, we were joking about it today, this morning, watching Cartoon Network, and we're watching how Ben 10 which used to be dope, has now turned
It's
into.
gotten to like,
We're back to
it's
the
all
kid show
right.
again.
Yeah, but it's worse than like before. It's like now it's a spoof of
It's
what it used
purposely
to
for
be.
kids now. I get it.
But even we were just saying, like, I could see if we were to give somebody like that Tuskegee Heirs, they'll, one day, it'll be.
I mean, here's the thing about that, and it wouldn't even be to what your liking is. It would be something totally different.
What they think works.
Like, it'd be like, yeah, sure, make the little kids an XYZ. And you'd be like, wait a minute, I didn't, no. But no, don't, no.
Because we found out, like, Trilly, they're trying to, like, pitch their stuff to Adult Swim.
Yeah.
And I was like, that could be good, but, like, I could see this going the wrong way where it goes left and, like, it looks awesome and it's like, so you're parodying Batman. I don't know if we like this too much.
But you know what? And that's where the independent thing comes in. Like, if you're able to actually reach the right people, or you're able to get a product, like I can take the book for instance. We've had a bunch of publishers reach out to us, and they're like adamant, come on, let us do the book, let us publish the book. They're like, well, we don't really need you guys right now. You know,
I think that scares a lot of some companies. They're like,
right.
Oh,
And then, and furthermore, we don't want it to get to that point where it's like you start trying to determine what our story is and how our story is going to go. We want to finish this first 2, graphic novels, the first 6 issues, and then let people decide if they want to keep going. And so if we give it to somebody else and then they're like, well, we don't want to publish that, it doesn't work. We're trying to go against the norm, so why would we jump back in? It's the same thing, except animation costs tons of money. So if you're able to get the money to produce on your own and produce what you want, then you're in the driver's seat. Then you're saying, hey, Netflix, got this series, check it out. If you don't want it, that's fine. Then we go to the next guy. You know what I'm saying? So there's different ways to go about it. You just gotta, have a solid plan and like study it up. So because we had guys that. I don't even care. There was this guy, he was like, man, we'll give you guys $10,000 for the rights to publish. For the rights to produce the anime.
$10,000?
That's how much it's worth?
Because no studio is gonna, don't talk, we're not. And we're like, no, we're good.
I mean, I think we've evolved in a way, because it's not like the mid 90s where it's like, we need a company, we need it now. Now it's like, well, I can just go into YouTube and just throw it up on there and it'll be good to go.
And I was going to ask that, with all the pushing y'all did, for Kickstarter and all that, how was it just the response? How was the response period?
I mean, $10,000 in 8 hours is what people, hope for. So we didn't, plan that. It's just what happened. I think of the families that are involved with Tuskegee Heirs, that's where that push, that's where that response came from. Just real passionate family, man. People that are going to Tuskegee University, supported it, alumni, things like that. And then people that really want to see something for kids that should work, conceptually and concept and all that. So that's where I think a lot of that momentum came from.
That's about it.
That's it, man. Appreciate y'all guys talking to us.
Yeah, man. Yeah, was there anything else, anything in the future y'all may have coming out, or anything to know about Tuskegee Heirs in the future?
Tuskegee Heirs, we're going to wrap up the graphic novel as soon as possible. That's priority 1. As soon as that gets out, we're mailing that out to all the backers and people that pre-ordered it. But, I mean, the mad dash of everything is really locking in this animation company concept, getting who we're going to work with, getting it started. And then we're going to work on, book 2, volume 2, and then hopefully get that done as soon as possible. And, we'll see what the world says after that.
All right, man. All right,
appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys.
Fully got awesome.
Hey guys, welcome back. We're doing Comic Book Corner. We're finally talking about comics. No, because me and Prime talked about Power Rangers comic, and before we talked about Old Man Logan. So yeah, we're back on track now to making this a end of the month thing finally and stuff, where we sum up what we're reading. So joining me today, I have 2 guests, one new and one a mainstay. Prime, what's going on, man?
Good evening, all.
And another guy who I met at New York Comic Con 2 years ago. What's going on, man? Introduce yourself.
What up? What up? It's Blackwing 2040, guys. Pleasure to be here. Of course, for those who don't know me, you guys can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and you can find my YouTube channel, Blackwing 2040. I do comic book verses, I do reviews, I do voice impression videos, I do a little segment called Retro Throwbacks where I talk about all nostalgic TV shows I used to grow up watching and all that good stuff.
D's here in spirit because he emergency, but hey, you know, he's good, so we're good.
Don't worry, I'll be angry enough for the both of us.
So, you know what? I'll start off with this. So, we had a lot of comic book news that came out and stuff, you know, movies and other things and stuff before we dive into the comics and such. I saw Prime had put up an article. They're doing a New Mutants movie, right? So,
Let's talk about that shit.
Lot of us was excited because, you know, we saw Deadpool and we saw Negasonic Teenage Warhead. She was wearing the New Mutants costume, which looked dope as hell.
Right.
So a lot of us were like excited, like, oh, they're doing New Mutants. They're gonna have those costumes. It's gonna be dope, right? Right. So apparently, they're doing a New Mutants movie based off of the Demon Bear saga, I believe. And they're going to make it a horror movie. Now, on the surface level, that's not a bad idea because the Demon Saga is something that was creepy as shit. But the one thing that stuck out was that the director's like, nobody's going to be in their costumes. And I was like, okay, red flag. Flag on the play. Flag on the play.
Right there.
Flag on the play. What's going on here, Fox? Like, what are you doing? Like, why are we doing this? Why? What's going on here?
And, you know, I have no issue with it, you know, jumping genres because anybody worth their weight in salt knows that most comic books, especially most cape/superhero comic books, they're already in multiple genres already anyway. It's just like super heroic is the base.
Yeah. Like,
you know, for example, you know, Doctor Strange, Mystic, you got spy shit with S.H.I.E.L.D., The Runaways is a teenage fucking CW drama. Like that's no problem. Like we understand that superheroes can exist in multiple genres. That's the thing. That's the charm. That's the appeal.
Yeah. Right.
However, to have such blatant, you know, I don't want to say blasé, but like this. Oh, they're not going to be in costumes, and there won't be any supervillains. Like, then what, mate? Why are you doing a superhero movie then?
And
like, why?
Even if you don't have a villain, right? Okay, go Demon Bear arc. It was very team focused. Okay, so this Demon Bear is going to be the only villain. Okay, I'm fine with that, but like, where are you going with this? Like, you know, what is the over? Because again, you don't necessarily have to have a bad guy per se, but I'm like, what is your aim at this? With this, like, is it supposed to be team forming kind of like thing? What's going on here?
So, and if your aim is to make a horror movie with superpowers, then why would you go through that extra step? Go jump through that extra hoop to get comic book characters to tell that story where you can just make, I don't know, maybe an original story with that idea? Like, why would you?
Or there is a dark corner of the Marvel you can do a horror stuff with, you know, Marvel Zombies, you know, or the Agents of, what was the one with Machine Man?
Not the Monster Squad, the, shit. Nope. It was with Dum Dum Dugan and the creatures.
Shoot. Howling Commandos?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, Howling Commandos and stuff. You could do that and stuff if you really want to go creepy. I mean, this is another opportunity to do, you know, what's his Man Thing again and stuff. You can get that in there and kind of do like a bootleg Justice League Dark if you really want to go horror, I guess, you know. But
exactly.
But no costumes, no central antagonist villain. Like I am flabbergasted. Like I don't understand the mindset behind this. So,
and then I saw you put up the article retweeting about who they're going to get for Daniel Moonstar. Now, to the credit of who they were figuring, right? One of the girls is straight up Native American. She is Native American.
Okay.
The other is legit white. Now, I'm sitting there looking at Fox like, don't fuck this up, Fox. You got a legit Native American that you're considering. Go with that. Blue Hunt is the Native American, and True O'Brien is white. I'm just saying, probably for your sake, and maybe you don't want to piss off your people, go with Blue Hunt. Just go with her.
Because I mean, you've already got a big strike with me on the movie with the whole they're not superheroes. Like and I have no problem with a horror movie, but like, why would you feel the need to make that statement? Why would you feel the need to make that creative choice? Why would you feel the need to make a movie about superheroes who are in superhero costumes, then I remember this is Foxmen. So let me just
they take two steps forward and 10 steps back.
Exactly.
I mean, like again, me and Dee, we watched Logan. I thought it was okay. It's just it was one of those like, I get that you wanted to make Logan stand alone, but it was just certain things where I'm like, adamantium bullet. Like if you didn't have that in the movie, I'll let go of a lot of shit. But when you put adamantium bullet in your movie, it's like, so you're telling me Origins existed then?
Yep. When you try to wipe it all out in Days of Future Past,
and the Wolverine even ignored like Origins. So it's like adamantium bullet. Why? How would Logan get his handle on it? How? But whatever. It is what it is. What can you do? Meanwhile, Sony is doing a Black Cat and Silver Sable.
Oh wait, hold on. You know what we're talking about?
What did I miss?
Talk about like the one positive point coming out of New Mutants.
Yeah. What is positive? Yeah.
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, man, she's making the rounds, man. They're eyeing her for I don't know who.
Was it Sail Cypher, the chick who's the doctor now in Utopia? What is her name? I can't remember her name.
There's a lot of people, like, you know what's funny? When they went to Utopia, I had no idea who the hell Dr. Nemesis was, and I had to look it up, and I was like,
Dr. Nemesis.
Yo, I had to look it up. I was like, this dude's a piece of shit. Why the hell is he with the mutants? What's going on here?
I mean, that whole era of X-Men was like, hey, who's this random obscure character we haven't seen in about 20 years?
They put him there, and I'm like, so he's working with the mutants now. All right, cool. I mean, that's fine. And then he was with Cable's X-Force for a minute. I was like, all right, cool. But yeah, I mean, hey, I can't deny. I will watch New Mutants if, like I said, if what they're doing with her is cool, that'd be awesome. I mean, she's getting a paycheck from Marvel, so, might as well go on ahead and get it.
All I want to see
it's good for Josh Brolin, so whatever.
Yeah.
All I want to see in New Mutants, I just want to see my boy Cannonball and Sunspot, Wolfbane, and Magic. Those are only 4 people I'm looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Sunspot is gonna be an interesting one because that dude is like, what's it, Afro Latino or whatever, and I'm like, don't go white with that one, please. Don't fuck that one up, please.
For sure, don't.
But I think whoever they got, I guess apparently they actually cast the smartest to do from was it Henry Zaga from Teen Wolf. So kudos to them on that one because he is Latino, so dope. Let's see. So they're going to do a Black Cat and Silver Sable movie, and now I'm of the school of thought of I get why you're doing it because Wonder Woman. I just saw it. Strike while the iron's hot. You want your women heroes? Might as well go on ahead and just do it. Fuck it. Why not? So you go with Black Cat and Silver Sable as like a kind of, I guess, buddy cop-ish movie. I guess I don't know.
Are they setting them up to be their Harley and Ivy of the Spider-Man?
I mean, one is Silver Sable is a pretty tough nails character, and Black Cat is
she's a new Kingpin right now, but
yeah, now she's a new Kingpin and stuff. But she never really was like, I don't know. She never really came off as a Harley either. She was
she wasn't. She was more a Catwoman.
Well, I was just using that as an example to a female duo.
No ties to the MCU though. That's the question mark. I'm like, why? I mean,
I don't know if we can say Sony is going rogue, but like, why are they spitting at all these Spider-Man reboot spin-offs that have no connection to Spider-Man?
Because they haven't learned their lesson from the Amazing Spider-Man.
I have a theory, and I think you guys will agree. I feel Spider-Man Homecoming is going to probably rake it $1 billion, and Sony is going to change their tune and make it part of the MCU.
I mean, that's assuming that they're intelligent people working behind the movies like Sony.
They were intelligent enough to make the deal with Marvel because they need money.
Exactly.
That was desperation.
Okay, yeah, true.
They're like, oh snaps, we bombed Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I forgot Prime was on the Sony episode. Yeah, that is desperation right there. So yeah, that reeks of it and stuff. But they got Prince Blythewood. She's going to direct it. She directed Love and Basketball and Lights and The Secret Life of Bees. So yeah, got
those two movies.
Huh?
I said I like 2 of those 3 movies. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, so I'm like, all right, cool. You know, I'm curious to see who they're gonna get to write it. You know, no, she's actually gonna help write it too.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, she okay. So I'm curious to see one who they cast as Silver Sable and Black Cat. That's number 1. And 2, like, what plot point can they really go with if they do Audible? If they don't Audible, I'm curious on what the story is going to be, because it could be a Deadpool where it doesn't have to connect to Spider-Man per se and stuff, but I'm curious to see what they're going to do with it, because those are characters, at least with Black Cat. Black Cat's more connected to Spider-Man big time than, say, Silver Sable. Silver Sable, she could exist in any sort of realm, and you're not going to really, like...
Know who she is
per se and stuff. I mean, even to the average person.
Black Cat is like really connected to Spider-Man. Like that's the same way I feel about this Venom movie. Like, as much as I'm intrigued, I'm not gonna say excited. I'm intrigued by the notion of a solo Venom movie, especially one starred by the big guy for you,
Tom Hardy.
Thank you, Tom Hardy. There are certain characters that are intrinsically tied to another. Like,
Venom especially, like Black Cat, there's leeway, but Venom is like huge. You can't
like
do it without
his origin is he's being literally stripped away from Spider-Man and put on somebody else. Like, I don't understand. Like, how can you think that Venom by itself without Spider-Man? Because like I'm from the school, I'm old school. So
we're all
to
old
me,
school,
we're all old
so
school.
to me, Venom works best as that scorn lover metaphor. You know,
Yeah.
Like, I think that's when Venom is at his strongest, where he's like. If it would do anything and sacrifice and anything to be with Spider-Man, and that leads to his obsession, that leads to his mania. Like, if Peter just told the symbiote right now, "Hey, come back to me," like, it would leave whatever host and go back to Peter.
Yeah.
And it's the jealousy and rage of Eddie that perfect cocktail is what makes Venom Venom. That the obsession of the symbiote and the jealousy and anger of Eddie. And so, like, to strip that away from Venom's story, like, then again, you're not giving me Venom, you're giving me an entirely another character. So why don't you just use an entirely different character, since you're not giving me the true essence of the character?
Yeah, and I mean, and the thing of it is, because when they said Venom, my first thought was, so we're just going to jump straight to Flash Thompson, Agent Venom in the MCU.
And see, that's another thought I had. So, like, if they're going to do a Venom solo movie, like, why not just blow all of our fucking minds and have it be Agent Venom and Eddie Brock Venom, and have Eddie Brock Venom be the antagonist of the movie?
Yeah, just have him, or you could throw Carnage in there and have it really up to ante if you really want to do it.
Yes.
You know, and but this is Sony, like you said, going rogue, and they're like, we know better, so you know
what we're doing.
We know what we're doing. I'm like,
you clearly don't. You clearly don't.
No, you don't.
Yep.
You and Fox are in the same boat at this point, and you're gonna make your $1 billion off of Spider-Man: Homecoming, because that movie's gonna fucking make bank. And y'all gonna be like, all right, we got our money. You got 2 more movies with Spider-Man, and we're gonna go back to doing solo stuff. And I'm like, Meanwhile, there's a storm brewing that this is just something that we're theorizing here. Fantastic Four might be coming back to the MCU, dog.
I've been hearing rumblings like a mother.
And the proof is in the fact that, since Fox has been pushing the TV side of their X-Men stuff so much, and they're getting collaboration with Marvel, look, the rights to Fantastic Four expire in 2019, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they don't do anything by the end of this year, odds are that it's going to relegate back to Marvel.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they have to have something. You know, they can't just do the shit next year and be like, we can do a move. No. That would just be a dick move right there if they do that.
And what was the last Fantastic Four comic? 2015?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yep, see?
Yeah, 2 years ago. That was like the Fantastic Four movie. And then, that was last time we got a Fantastic Four movie and stuff. And even the tie-in with the cartoons on Disney with the Avengers show and stuff.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and that Fantastic Four series that came out right around Marvel Now, right around before the movie, was written by James Robinson, who's one of my favorite writers.
What, the one on Cartoon Network?
No, the comic book, the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
Wait a minute, I thought Hickman wrote that series.
Who?
Hickman started it, and then when they kicked it over, when they did the Marvel Now, where they were in the red and black costumes, it was somebody else, because Hickman had left, and he was on the New Avengers one.
He switched over there. He passed the torch to Robinson, and then he had like a whole lot of callbacks to Silver Age Marvel. Like anyway,
Nice.
I really love James Robinson. So like,
He's a good writer.
For them to put him on that title, then for them to treat the title the way they did, I took that shit personal.
I think a lot of people did. You ain't the only one.
Like, you put him on this title, then like it seems like you just drop all support from him and just like, oh, we're gonna cut you off here on issue 20 something. So
well, to be fair,
wrap it up, G.
To be fair, Marvel was behind Hickman. It was like, hey, dog, Secret Wars is happening. So sorry, Fantastic Four, and there was a lot of other books. It wasn't just Fantastic Four. A lot of other books was like, shit, Secret Wars is happening. So we're gonna have to wrap this shit up right now.
And you know, also on that note, speaking of like the great Fantastic Four purge, I have a theory that like they would have also killed the Silver Surfer book that was being written by Dan Slott at the same time if it wasn't being nominated for so many like awards. Like, wasn't it up for like an Eisner for a minute there?
Yeah, it was like an Eisner. There was another one that was up for it too. So yeah, it was about 2 awards. I was like, yeah, and that was the only reason why I was reading the book, because I was like, let me see what this book's about. And I was like, this book's actually pretty good.
It's actually pretty decent. Like, I wasn't reading it more for the art than I was for Slott. Like,
I mean, Dan Slott has his moments.
Yeah, that's what I say. He has his moments. When he's not so far up his head, thinking he's making the most original storylines when he's not. Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I don't know if I said this before on the show, but like that Silver Surfer book is essentially like the best Doctor Who fan fiction you'll probably ever read. But it was a really interesting book, and the art by Allred is like just, he was on all cylinders in that entire run. Like, it was just bam, it's all there on the page.
Yeah. So got that happening. That's just, like I said, just rumor for right now. Lastly, okay, this is just me. I'm not feeling the Batman Harley Quinn animated movie coming up.
Okay.
I don't want to sit there and feel bad for people that might like it, but it's just like, must we go back to Batman?
Well, here's my thing.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, man.
No, go ahead. All
right, so you saw me on Twitter when I was talking, reminiscing about Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
And it went into my this long-standing point about how I have, like, I'm kind of a little fatigued of the Batman exposure, and it started right there around Arkham Knight.
Oh yeah.
And then dovetail into the Telltale game, because when the Arkham series is done, and I'm gonna try my best to fight back this Arkham Knight rant that I've been holding in for like 3 days. I figured, okay, so Telltale announced doing a DC game, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, cool. So I wonder what character they're gonna use. Like, I knew they were gonna use Batman, but I was hoping and praying that they wouldn't, because I can spit 5 characters at a distance that could be as better suited for a Telltale game than fucking Batman. Mm-hmm. And by the way, the reason I'm saying that is because, I mean, I know Batman's awesome, meme away, but he had just had the highly successful Arkham series and the fucking Lego Batman games. Like, bruh, spread some love around the table, man. What the are you doing? It's like, yeah, I know Batman sells, but the reason Batman sells is because he's been exposed. People know who Batman is. You know how to get other characters to sell? You expose them as well. Like, you try to give them that same push. So,
or like overexposure.
So, like, yeah. So I'm not feeling the Batman Harley movie, because I'm kind of on a Batman boycott. Like, if Batman is in something solo, like, I'm not spending any money on it. Like, the Lego Batman movie, that shit looks hilarious. I'm not seeing it. The Return of the Cape Crusaders. Return of the Cape Crusaders, I fucking love Batman 66. I'm not spending a red cent on that shit.
I love Batman 66. I like the concept of it. I was like, oh, yeah. Batman. Cause actually, you know what's funny? I bought the Batman 66 versus Green Hornet before I bought the solo one.
I'm just exactly like, if it was Batman that by itself, I'm not buying it. But it had Batman and Green Hornet, okay, I'll buy that. I'll read that. I enjoyed that. But like, if he's solo, like, I'm not spending money on it. Like, I had to fight with myself to the debate if I was gonna get Justice League Dark, because I'm like, if this isn't a fucking monkey's paw wish, I finally get a motherfucking Justice League Dark movie that I've been dying for years. But then Batman is a central character, and I'm like, fuck, do I really want to give them money and reward this badass behavior? Shit.
It wasn't that bad, actually, because I get why they did it, because you put, like, it's the idea of, okay, we put the guy that might not believe and this dark magic stuff, or at least that's what their aim was. But I was like, maybe you should put somebody like, I don't know, put the Flash in the movie. I'd rather.
Or here's another idea. How about, a character that's about to be in a big budget movie that's about to come out pretty soon, one who has actual ties to mystic shit that you kind of want to get them to get the push up, the glow up. Who could be better suited for that than Batman? I don't know, maybe Wonder Woman? Aquaman?
One woman rule, sir. Didn't you know? It's just like black people, which ties into another thing. The people at Injustice laid on this nugget today that Static Shock was supposed to be in Injustice and got scrapped.
Great.
Now, I'm sitting back and I'm like, who's the only people in Injustice? Oh, that's right, Firestorm and Cyborg. And you got Jon Stewart, who is a skin for Hal Jordan, and I'm like, okay, I get it, because they both, they're Green Lanterns, they're interchangeable, fine, whatever. The one thing that was insulting, though, was you put Vixen as a skin for Cheetah.
Yeah.
That's the one that rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, you took Vixen, who has, quite possibly has a huge moveset that you could have used as a regular character, and you relegated her to a skin for Cheetah.
I feel like Vixen should have became more like a DLC character instead of a skin, because her moveset is totally different from Cheetah's.
I mean, it's like you're robbing... Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all. You're limiting one character for the sake of, saving money or having to not, do a whole new fighter, a whole new moveset. But, anybody who plays Injustice is going to think, Vixen is just another random cat lady. And this is I'm going to have another thing I have to say. So, I was watching a lot of people make commentary about this shit. And going, and I totally agree with, yes, Vixen should be her own character. She shouldn't just be a cheetah skin because of her moveset and her power set is way more diverse than just, I have claws and I can run very fast.
Yeah.
But then in that same breath, I heard people going, well, why not just give her a cheetah slot? And I'm like, first of all, fuck you, because I'm glad that we got more than one Wonder Woman character in this damn game, so you can cut that bullshit out. Number two, instead of pointing at this obscure, instead of pointing at Cheetah saying she should be cut from the game, how about you pointing one of the 10, 12 Batman characters in the fucking game? Why the fuck?
Exactly.
Let's say
why would you cut one of their slots?
Harley, Catwoman, Batman, Joker,
Robin,
that's 5. Bane, that's 6.
Mr. Freeze is a skin, so I guess...
I don't count it. I don't fucking count it, because that's technically Captain Cold, so I don't count it. That's it, just 6.
And did you count Poison Ivy?
Oh shit, Poison Ivy, that's 7.
Red Hood DLC.
Oh shit, that's right, that's 8.
Ugh, my gosh.
So instead of, taking love away from taking the glow up away from the other characters from other franchises, why not, give other people a chance to get some motherfucking exposure? How about that? Yeah. And that goes into another thing, I was talking about, in that same breath, I was talking to somebody about that, I really get frustrated with people who say shit like that, you should cut this character in favor of a, air quotes, more well-known character, because then you're robbing yourself of learning about or experiencing some characters you might not know you even like, because you yourself aren't giving them a fucking chance. You remember way back when Quicksilver was announced for both Age of Ultron and Days of Future Past. Right. Do you know how many times you've heard people going, why are they picking this character? Why Marvel and Fox fighting over this character? That's stupid. Quicksilver's lame. Nobody cares about Quicksilver. I fucking hate that fucking phrase. Nobody cares about X character. Just because you don't know about the character doesn't mean no one cares about it. Every character should get a chance in that spotlight, should get a chance to shine, because you never know. Fucking, for example, Young Justice did Sportsmaster motherfucking wonders.
Nigga,
I'm a huge fan of Justice Society.
They beefed him up and made him a freaking, Casey Jones.
Right.
And I was a fan from day one. As soon as they showed him, I was like, dog, who is this dude?
Love this character. I love this character.
Exactly. And you would have known that because the people making the show gave the character a chance and decided to approach the character in a way that, to make him accessible to fit into their grand plan. The man. So, excuse me, because I'm trying to stay calm. I'm trying not to get over emotional because that shit really pisses me off. You don't understand how fucking mad this shit makes me. So, why not just keep an open mind, and why not just expose people to different characters? Like, instead of using the same fucking characters, because people say shit like that, like, why they using Quicksilver, and then they turn around and go, oh man, Quicksilver was the best part of Days of Future Past. Well, how about that, motherfucker? You gave the character a chance and it surprised you. Like, I don't understand that mentality. It drives me, infuriates me.
I mean, uses of powers aside, how bizarre it was, but yeah.
So, like, you don't know what you're gonna like because you're not willing to try things, and that mentality like that, like, well, don't use that character, use the air quotes well-known character, that gets us stuck in that rut where we see the same 10, 12, 20 people using the same things over and over again, and that shit gets sickening.
And here's what I have to say about this, because in the first Injustice game, we had Batman-related characters. We had Batman and Nightwing, Joker and Harley, Bane, and Catwoman. That makes 6 Batman-related characters.
Technically, Zatanna, I guess, maybe.
No, I don't count Zatanna.
I don't count Zatanna either. So
count
that's
Batgirl?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. That's DLC, so...
That still counted. I mean, it's part of the roster.
Yeah, so that's... Okay, so that's 7. Now, you look at DC's character roster, and you see how overexposed Batman has received to the public. Knowing this, and I feel like over the years, they've overexposed him too much with... I think this started with Brave and the Bold. I feel like it started then, leading into the Lego Batman games, and then into the Arkham series. Which, to me, they're not bad. But I think probably it was right around when Arkham City was done. I think that's when the hype came in.
That was also right around The Dark Knight, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Dark Knight Rises.
That's right around we got the fever pitch of the Bat God worship.
Yeah.
I think that's when it reached its peak.
Mm-hmm.
And hasn't leveled off since. It hasn't diminished. No.
Nope.
Yeah. I mean, and like I said, I'm with Brian with Arkham Knight, where I was just sitting back like, the fuck is this?
Oh, don't start me. Please don't start me.
No, I'm not. But I literally just remember sitting back. I'm like, okay. When that game came out and I like just went through it and stuff, I think I was literally the only person on Twitter that everybody thought I was just hating on the game for the sake of hating it. And I was like, no, I can't be the only one that's feeling this way. I can't. I mean, it's just something that was off about the game. I don't know what it was. It was just either the tank stuff. It was something off about that game that just was like, I don't feel like any sort of like resonance of just accomplishment. It's just like,
Okay, so let's start. So here we go. So Arkham Knight, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let me say this off top of the bat, off top. Amazing gameplay. I think that's the most polished the fighting system. Like, that is the natural progression of the fighting system that began in Asylum. I mean, the combat, the fucking room full of dudes, you putting heads through walls, you putting boots to asses. It flows so smooth. It's like fucking velvet. Just lovely. Yeah. Combat system is great. Amazing graphics. The shit looks beautiful when he puts on the bat suit and you see like the individual layers and textures and shit moving. Looks phenomenal. Looks amazing.
Iron bat suit.
Okay. Bat iron. So let me ask you a quick question now. So when they announced Arkham Knight and they announced that he's going to be like, when we all say he's going to be Jason Todd, and they say no, it's not, and then it turns out to be Jason Todd. All right.
I thought it was a clone of Bruce. That would have been like, yo, that would have been bold as shit if it was like a disfigured clone of Bruce. I would have been like, yo, that would have been dope.
I would have accepted that. So let's talk about this for a second. So let's be generous. Let's say I've played every single Arkham game, right? And I'm talking about everything, even like the shitty Deathstroke mobile game. Let's say I played that Metroidvania, was it Blackgate Lockout or whatever it was called?
Didn't play it, but I heard about it.
Yeah, let's say I played every single Arkham game, right? And let's say I've been following the story. Let's say that the Arkham game is my exposure to Batman. That's my corner of Batman. That's where I know the character. This is where I'm familiar with the character. This is where I get all I know from Batman. So I've been playing through all the games, and I get to Arkham Knight. And we get to the revelation that, oh, surprise, surprise, the Arkham Knight is former Robin, Jason Todd.
Which the DLC literally showed its hand on who the fuck it was in the first place.
So at that stage, who the fuck is Jason Todd to me? If I only know Batman, I only know Batman through the Arkham games. Yeah. I've only played them. Who the fuck is Jason Todd to me, other than maybe an offhand comment that the Joker made in the Arkham City challenge?
Yeah.
Now one mention,
and I think that's one of the core issues with the game, with the series as a whole, is because it expects you to know all this outside lore, all this outside homework to enjoy the narrative that they built beforehand. And I've said this before on the show on multiple episodes and multiple series. Some things should not have homework. Like, I should be able to go into this one thing and enjoy it for what it is. That said, you can have callbacks, you can have allusions, you can do references to other things, you can do recreations, but like, everything should be self-contained. Like, all of my enjoyment should come from the work itself, not from me extrapolating my experiences from other outside sources featuring those same set characters. And that is a big issue or deal that I have with the Arkham series is overhaul, because we don't really get enough opportunity to stick with these characters and see them in situations, because Batman being so torn up about Jason Todd in Arkham Knight does not mean jack shit to me if I only played, let's say, Asylum City and Origins, who Batman was a gun-hole crazy, fuck you, I got this, bro, I'm gonna go take your ass back to Wayne Manor, I'm gonna beat everybody ass by myself. He didn't strike me as a team player, so like, this kid being dead, I'm like, to me, it doesn't like he would give a shit. He wouldn't care. He'd just be like, oh, glad to see you up and walking, my guy.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing about that was, like, it was that, and on top of the side stuff, like, I did like the whole thing with Azrael. I thought that was actually cool that they actually did pick up that plot point from City that kind of felt random as hell. So I was like, I was fine with that. That was like, all right, cool. They finally resolved that.
Side missions, it was, I mean, I don't own Arkham Knight, but I've seen the gameplay, I've seen pretty much all the missions, and I'm like, is all of this really that necessary?
Oh yeah,
the answer is no. It was not. It was
not. No, it was not.
I mean, even beyond that, it was just like the ending especially kind of threw me off. So I'm like,
that was a mess.
All right, so I ain't gonna go into it, but it's just that ending, and then on top of the fact that Origins, I remember playing Origins, and I was like, it's okay. I mean, they kind of overhyped the whole seven, people are gonna assassinate Batman, and it just kind of overhyped it, especially with the Electrocutioner getting freaking bopped in like one hit in a cutscene.
Yeah, and then they're talking about like the Joker's not the main bad guy. Joker's not the main bad guy. Then turns out the Joker is the main bad guy. I was like, we lied. But then here's the thing about that though. Even with all that shit, like, and I will stand on this hill, and I will stand on this hill by myself, but I don't give a fuck. I feel Arkham Origins is a way more enjoyable game than Arkham Knight.
I agree to that.
Glitches aside, and even the fact that even if Origins is just Arkham City with like sprinkles on top of it, for the fact of alone that fucking Bane boss fight, matter of fact, both of them, the one where you're fighting on that rooftop and you get the different camera angles,
I love it.
That fight is so dope. Then the second one where you're fighting them in the tunnels, those are really good. Oh, and the Deathstroke boss fight.
Best
the boss fights
fight in the
Arkham, the best boss, not all of them, but most of the boss fights in Arkham Origins are really enjoyable. Now let's turn our head and look at Arkham Knight. They hyped up that Man-Bat fight. Like, not a lot of people talked about that Man-Bat fight. Like, oh man, you get to fight Man-Bat. It's so great. Outside of that jump scare when you see him for the first time, how do you fight Man-Bat? You play fucking Sky Tag with him. What the bullshit?
3 separate times you have to track him down. I'm like, this is not fun.
And just touch him. Like, it's not fun. It's fucking tedious and fucking boring. And you're sitting there like, just why? Like, I'm sitting there going, I'm gonna fight Man-Bat. So I'm in my head. I'm thinking, oh, it's gonna be like the Killer Croc fight from City? Is it going to be like the Scarecrow fight from Asylum? Oh man, what if it's like an air version of the Mr. Freeze fight? No, motherfucker, y'all play tag, then dip out.
It was like the Deadshot thing in City, where it's just like, you're playing, which I didn't mind because I like the detective aspect of figuring out where Deadshot shot the dude at and stuff.
But then after that shit, you actually got to fight Deadshot. You actually had like sneak up on him, and there was like a combat.
It was like literally their bootleg version of the end fight from Metal Gear Solid, basically.
Yes.
So yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's just, again, decision making and stuff like that. I mean, even the Killer Croc fight, I felt a little bit in Arkham Knight was underwhelming.
Oh yeah, even that.
why the fuck are we fighting a room of robots when Catwoman, who literally can't leave the room? Like, I don't just. Yeah, but anyway, let's move off this because I could literally do a whole show about the Arkham series and stuff.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So and just a mini thing. The only redeeming thing about the Killer Croc fight is that you get the tag team with Nightwing.
Yeah.
Pretty dope. I would give the game that much. But yeah. So we're gonna talk about comics and stuff, and if anything, I have to bring up something. So since last year, when me, Prime, and Dee were talking about Dark Side Wars and Secret Wars and stuff. A lot of stuff happened in the landscape of comics and such. One of it being, a lot of people were pissed off about one Nick Spencer turning beloved Captain America into a agent of Hydra. Now, and this ties into certain things. I guess one thing, Marvel in terms of book sales, because there were articles coming out saying that Marvel's decision to do Hydra Cap is the reason why their sales are down and blah, blah, blah. And that kind of got me pissed off, because it's like, if you really read comics and know the industry, there's a reason why Marvel, like, again, Marvel's not hurting. Let's just get that out the way here. But it's more like they're making decisions that, on one hand, I get, but at the same time, they need to restructure how to go about things. So comic books are a new thing for a lot of people. We got new people that jump in, and there are people that don't really know the business. Now, you guys will agree with me on this, that since the age of comics, one thing rules all when it comes to your popular character still being in comics: sales, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Some characters are going to just sell regardless, no matter what stank is on them. They're going to always have at least 30 to 20,000.
I remember a time during the Young Justice era where Superboy and Impulse's books did not sell and got canceled, but Robin's book was still ongoing.
And they made a joke about that shit in the book. It was so fucking funny.
Yeah. And these things happen.
Drake.
Yeah. What do you say?
Everyone loved Tim Drake. He was like for him being just, a teenage hero, his run was like the most successsul teenage superhero run ever. Next to Nightwing, of course.
Oh yeah, easily. And
not counting Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
yeah, it was 90s. I forgot.
And to be fair, and also to be fair to Tim Drake, like, he was the only Robin, I think, who mainlined the solo book for as long as he did. Like, that book lasted like over 200 issues, didn't it?
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, almost. It reached
92?
183 issues.
Yeah. So recently, it came out that a lot of books were being canceled and stuff. One of them being Black Panther and the Crew. And a lot of people were taking issues with it, like, Marvel doesn't care about diversity, and I'm just sitting back like, guys, that's not it at all here.
Yeah, sit down and shut the fuck up, because we're gonna tell you guys about a little story, something called context.
It's context here,
step
guys.
back and look at the bigger picture.
It's context, guys. Here's the thing. It's kind of an archaic system when it comes to comic books and such, specifically with, like, actually not the digital, not on the digital side, because digital side it's very cut and dry on how they, what sales goes, but on the actual getting the physical copy realm, it's different. Retailer, a lot of major companies, they go on pre-sales. That's how they keep track of whether they want to keep a book on or not, if it's worth their while and money to keep a book on. If the pre-sales of an issue is high, then they keep the book going. And that's always been a thing and such, unfortunately. That's just how it is and stuff. It's that's why a lot of people say, hey, if you're going to get the physical copy, go to your local comic book store and make sure that you get them to add it to your, box or whatever that you have at the store and stuff. So it's like, all right, cool. So Black Panther and the Crew, usually your first issue of your book is going to sell the highest all the time. And by the time it gets to the second issue, there's usually like, 30-40% drop off, usually.
Yep.
So Black Panther the Crew, its number one issue didn't even sit there and sell well. So that's already a sign right there that, clearly people weren't feeling it. Now,
and that's also the context. Like, that's not even the first Black Panther spinoff that came out since the Coates era of Black Panther. That was like, I think, the second or third one.
Yeah, the second one. This is the second Black Panther spinoff book, because World of Wakanda had, again, good. It was decent number one sales from what I heard. It wasn't horrible, but it was just decent.
Yeah.
And it dropped off after that. So I was like, all right, I guess that makes sense, because sales probably like dipped drastically with it and stuff, so whatever. So Black Panther and the Crew just did worse. So a lot of people were like, Marvel didn't promote it, and I was like, hey, if you because clearly a lot of people are reading the physical copies, they promoted the shit out of Black Panther and the Crew. Like, they were doing tons of advertisement rips inside the comics and stuff, because bear in mind, people, comics aren't promoted like movies.
Exactly.
You're not going to listen to the radio and be like, all right, guys, listen, be sure to pick up Black Panther and the Crew #2 at your local No, they're not going to do that.
No.
And if you're on social media a lot, that's where you're going to hear about it. You're going to hear about it on social media. You're going to hear about it on different nerdum websites. And you're also going to see it at your local comic book stores, which I guarantee you they probably had like posters and stuff for Black Panther and the Crew. And you're also going to see it on inside the comic book that you're reading. So I don't buy this whole thing where people are saying that, oh, Marvel didn't promote it. No, they promoted it. So what's the excuse?
Well, let's look again, a wider range of context. Black Panther and the Crew isn't the only Marvel title that's getting canceled. Like, even
I got a
slew,
list. I got a list.
A slew of them are getting canceled.
I got a list.
And and there are many factors contributing to that. And, the pre-order sales is also one of them. But it's also like, and I think we talked about this briefly on the previous episode, but like the level of books that Marvel is pumping out on a regular basis is like, it's insane. People always say like Marvel is like #1 in sales, and I'm like, and I guarantee you that's not indicative of any quality or actual physical sales. It's because of the sheer volume. Like, of course it's going to be #1 because of the volume they're pumping out.
Yeah. Right.
If I'm not mistaken, like currently right now, isn't there at least 70 or so ongoing Marvel books?
70?
It might be less than that. It might be like around 50-ish.
No, I think
50 or 60.
I don't know. And I'm not, when I say ongoing, I don't mean like an ongoing series, but like
because you got
titles being published, like counting mainstream miniseries, events.
Yeah, you got
the Star Wars imprint.
Yeah, Star Wars. You got the Star Wars with the Darth Vader and whatever other one that they got on top of that. So that's 3 right there. You got any Inhumans fucking tie-in books and stuff. You got
there are 5 Avenger titles alone.
Yeah, 5 Avengers.
Yep.
You got the X-Men stuff: X-Men Blue, X-Men Gold, the regular X-Men, Deadpool,
Weapon X,
New Mutants, Weapon X,
Iceman, Jean Grey,
X-23, X-23, Cable. Yeah, so you're probably right about 70-ish and stuff.
And then you got your Spider-Man titles.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say it's Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen, Miles Spider-Man, Scarlet Spider. Is $20.99 still going?
Yeah.
Yep.
Shit.
Yeah.
So you see how that shit can get kind of aggressive. And then just the week when Guardians of the Galaxy opened out, they launched three fucking Guardians of the Galaxy books at the same time.
Was it Groot, Rocket, and the main Guardians of the Galaxy book?
It was Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't know about the Groot and Rocket book. Fuck.
No.
Gamora.
My bad. Gamora. My bad.
I know it was Guardians of the Galaxy. Then it was all new Guardians of the Galaxy. Then there was like a mini series, and I forget its title. But
Gamora had a solo too.
It's still going.
Like, just why? Why?
And even on top of that, like, okay, so my list I got here is this, okay, and there's circumstances behind why these books got shut down. So first off, you got Red Wolf, who is a very obscure Native American character that Marvel basically had in their back pocket for the longest time.
He was an Avenger back in the day?
Yeah, back in the day and stuff. And when they did all new, all different Marvel, they had a Red Wolf book. Now, I get it. Hey, you want to sit there and push this character up. The problem is it only sold 7,000 copies. And they promoted it. They promoted it pretty well and stuff. But again, it goes back to make me care about Red Wolf. I did pick up the first issue. Decent read. It just ain't my cup of tea kind of thing, you know.
And that's another thing we got to talk about in context of comic books. Like, a lot of books are going to, of course they're going to have the issue 1 bump because that's just the nature of, hey, this is new #1. Check out what's going on. Yeah. Like, a lot of books don't even hit their stride to, like, maybe the 6th, 8th issue, you know. It takes a while to build up that momentum. Like, the first issue, like, I can't even think off the top of my head the #1 of a book I read, like, oh, man, I got to read the next one. Like, every #1 I've read, I'm just like, oh, that's interesting. I'll see where it goes. Yeah. Like, #1s are not going to blow you away. That's just not even the nature of the beast. That's not happening. No. If it does, that's a rare beast.
So Red Wolf got canceled, which I understood and stuff, and I didn't really see much people really complain about that, but whatever. Clearly they don't care. But again, that's a case of sales. Nobody really cares about Red Wolf, which, again, Marvel, to their credit, they were shooting for the stars with that and thought they can get something, but it is what it is and stuff. And let's be real about this, too. Marvel has a lot of Native American characters that occasionally you'll get a writer that actually gives a shit, like, was it when Remender? No. Who did the original? Who did X-Force coming out of Messiah Complex?
I Wasn't it when they had the grand black costumes?
Yeah.
It wasn't Remender?
Let me look that up right now.
Yeah, whoever was on there, they put Warpath on the team. And
Yes.
Warpath is the character that never really got like much screen time in the comics much. And then when they did Messiah Complex, they was like, "Oh, we're going to use Warpath now," and he's on the new X-Force team. And I was like, "All right, dope." You know, the Native American dude that was, I remember from back in the day during the
New Mutants.
the New Mutants run, and also when they did that. Hold up, was that his brother that was on the that was part of that team that was rescuing them from that island?
That was his brother, I believe.
Okay,
Because his brother died.
Okay, writers were Craig Kyle and Chris Yost.
Yeah, that one. So they used him and stuff, and they also during the Civil War, during post-Civil War, when they were hunting down, heroes that were going rogue, they introduced during the Thunderbolts book, American Eagle, who I had no idea who he was, and I looked it up, and I was like, first off, his costume was like so, like, fucked up because it was just one of like, what if you got the dude from the Village People with a shotgun? That was American Eagle, and then they revised the look to look like homeboy from Predator, Billy, the Native American on that team, and they made him look badass. I was like, all right, cool. I can dig this new look for him and stuff. It isn't like prototypical Native American. It's like, oh, they made him pretty badass, like a badass biker dude. I'm fine with that. That works and stuff, But it's gonna be a hard sell with a Native American character. So I think it's one of those like, he's actually in Occupy Avengers, so that's cool that they, David Walker actually found a place for that character. I was actually pretty happy about that. Next up, Nighthawk.
That didn't last long either.
Good book. It's basically like, hey, you want Black Batman? There's Nighthawk right there. And again, good book. Not a lot of people bought it, and it was amazing to me that when they announced the cancellation, everybody jumped on, was like, oh man, this is stupid, Marvel's done for canceling it. And I was like, hold up, did you read the book?
Did you read the book?
Where are you reading it? No? Then, yeah, no wonder it didn't. Just, come on, like, again, not saying you have to buy every book, but just look at the optics here. Like, if people aren't buying it, that's not Marvel's fault if they've been pushing it.
Yeah, it's your fault for not buying the book in the first place.
And I think that's why they also did the hip-hop covers, too, to really kind of get people
exactly
as well. So,
exactly.
Mockingbird, good book.
It got canceled for that one reason.
Got canceled because of sales. And it did decent sales. I think it was hitting at, $20K.
Ooh, that's not bad.
It's not bad, but I guess it wasn't hitting that money spot or whatever
right.
for it and stuff. So whatever, it got canceled. People were again like, "Oh man, Marvel doesn't care." I'm like, they promoted it. It is what it is. You also have what was it? We got a list here. So 3 characters that I'm looking at Marvel like, I get what you're doing, but you didn't need to. You had Solo, Slapstick, and the other Deadpool character.
That series.
That series. All 3 of them had their own solo comics, and I'm looking at like, I know these are Deadpool characters, and they were trying to spin them off from Deadpool, but you didn't really need to put them in a solo series.
No. It wasn't. I felt like that did not work at all.
Again, grand experiment that, at least to me, failed a bit and stuff, but what can you do, The one that surprised me, actually, I'm not even going to say it's canceled. I'll say that. But so you had that. You got Power Man Iron Fist, which I don't think it got canceled so much that they're spinning that off into the Luke Cage solo comic.
Mm-hmm.
So that happens and stuff. But, and then you got World of Wakanda, which it sucks, but it's one of those things where down the line, the numbers weren't, like, in that area where they could keep it on as an ongoing and stuff. And it also ties into the thing of a lot of people felt that they were, maybe it was too much stuff. Like, you spinning World of Wakanda and Black Panther and the crew out of,
at the same time,
out of it, and they just felt overwhelmed. Like, do I have to buy this? Do I have to buy this in order to understand it? Which you really didn't. But I think because the way they structured World of Wakanda, it gave off the vibe that you had to buy it in order to understand Black Panther when you really didn't. So I guess maybe if you want to blame Marvel on that one, maybe you could have just made it like, hey, this is just a side story. It's separate from the main book. You can buy it and still enjoy it, But whatever, it is what it is. I get why they did that and stuff. I think the only tie-in was it focused on the 2 rogue Dora Milaje and stuff that were fighting against Black Panther in the book at that time. So I get it and stuff. I mean, hell, they brought White Tiger back in the book recently, which is actually pretty dope. And he actually, Panther hooked him up with a new costume at the end of, I believe, issue 6.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so those are just examples of just like, if your booking's selling, it just is what it is. And I know Nick Spencer went online, I believe today, and he was talking about the whole idea of number ones. And that was something I think me, Prime, and D were talking about with like, wow, they're constantly giving us number ones and stuff. And I kept wondering about that, and I was like, it was dumb. And Nick Spencer actually came out and was saying, yeah, the reason why Marvel does that is because they'll like, I'll give you a good example. You remember the Mighty Avengers book?
Yep. Wait, which one?
The first one. The one with Luke
Marvel
Cage.
now. Yeah, that's not even the first one. That's the third one.
Oh, you mean
The Luke Cage, as I call them, the Black Avengers. The one that spun out during Infinity.
Okay.
Yeah, that one with Al Ewing in them. Okay, so Spencer was using that example. So it was basically like, remember that had 13 issues, right? And then they got revamped into Captain America and the Mighty Avengers. Spencer was saying the reason why they do that, and yeah, on the surface it does suck that they did that, is to revitalize and get people still reading that book in a way. It's kind of tricking people to like still read that book, and it's kind of the lifeblood in order to keep that storyline going. Because if you kept it at Mighty Avengers and the sales are dipping down really bad, you don't want to end it and keep the plot thread like just hanging. So what you do is you revamp it as a number one and just retitle it Captain America and the Mighty Avengers, and you still pick up the plot thread from your previous arc. And some creators, they'll go with it if it's going to help them tell their story in the long run. And there are some other people that don't like it, and they'll just tell their story and just end it. So, it's kind of a gift and a curse thing. It's just, it is what it is till you figure something out. But
now the guy who runs my local shop, we've had conversations about that. And he kind of feels the same way I feel about it. It's like whatever minute good is being gained from that, like it's overall detrimental.
Yeah.
Because like he talked about his pre-order sales, like people will jump on for the number one because it's going to get the number one boost. But like when the title is canceled and switches over to a new numbering, some of those people like drop off and like, don't add it to my box now, I'm done. Because like they don't like the constantly like having to start and stop. Like they feel like it's a stalled car not going anywhere. Like it's constantly stopping and starting. And he gave me the example of the Spider-Gwen book. He's like, why is Spider-Gwen on volume 4 and the character isn't even like 15 years old yet?
Exactly.
This is very much true, because that is like the confusing aspect of it. It's like, really? Like volume 4?
Then the other example we gave when we were talking about it, have you seen that Marvel recommended Avengers graphic novel thing they put out a couple of weeks ago? Like they said, like if you like this character, then read these trade paperbacks with the characters in it.
Yeah.
All right. So there was a page in it for Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Right.
And on that page saying these are your recommended graphic novels to read for her. Do you want to know how many trade paperbacks were numbered number one on that page?
How many?
You want to take a wild guess?
I'm gonna go with 5. That might be high.
It was 5.
Oh,
and
wow.
on the page, and on the page it had at the start say you started this number one, and I'm like, the fact that you have to say start this number one, that's a goddamn problem.
Which is funny because before Carol got promoted to Captain Marvel, she literally had 8 volumes of her Miss Marvel book,
and those were selling.
Yeah, those were selling like fucking hotcakes. Like I had to go back and read it because I was like, was her books really selling that much to get 8 volumes? I'm like, I guess so. Shit, and that's and that's the nature of it. It's like it's I think it's a situation that I feel Marvel should do this. If you want to test the market on a new character or a new concept, like I felt World of Wakanda, good idea. Make it a miniseries to test the market and see where it goes.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy because that's what they used to do back in the day. If not a miniseries, and they'll have a character as a backup feature in somebody else's book.
Yeah, but do a miniseries. You could have made World of Wakanda a miniseries. Test the waters with what you're doing, and if it sells really well, okay, do a regular series now.
Give it about 5 or 6 issues, see how it goes, and then boom.
Yeah,
that's how West Coast Avengers got started. West Coast Avengers was initially a miniseries, then they got the bump up to ongoing.
Yeah, and that's what they should do. Like, and I feel Marvel is slowly getting to that, but it's funny because some of their ongoings is still even though they're not placing in the top 10, they're still going strong. Like Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur is like on issue 19 and still going. Like, so clearly, I'm thinking they're looking at digital sales a lot stronger now, because I'm guessing Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur must be selling like damn hotcakes digitally. You got other books like even Riri Williams' book must be selling like hotcakes because that book is still going. You know,
and it's pretty good for some points, but there's some points that they just throw stuff in there that you're immediately supposed to understand.
It's the Miles Morales effect with Riri. She's having the same kind of like stumbling block that Miles did early on when he started out. And I have to remind people that I'm like, yeah, when Miles started out, it was a bit rough, a little rough. You know, but it eventually bounced out. We got a lot more story arc, and it's like, okay, cool. So you just got to give Riri some room to like grow and stuff. I mean, but it's just I really feel that people inherently don't understand that basically sales rules all. Now, don't get me wrong. I feel when Marvel's sitting up there saying, well, we found out that diversity doesn't sell. When you're saying that, it's like, don't say that, guy, because you're messing up people supporting you now. Like, why?
Like,
you know,
like shut up.
Just shut up, please. But it also spins off into this thing. So Steve Rogers, he's evil now. He's Hydra, and gotta be honest with you, I haven't heard anybody give me a single legit reason why Hydra Cap is a bad idea.
Now, those same people complained about. Let me not generalize. Forgive me.
Some,
but some of the people that I've seen complaining about Hydra Cap are the same people in the same breath or in praising injustice. And I'm like, now I know it's air quote arsenic realities, but like, really, you're willing to give them leeway to tell this one story, but not tell this story. And again, like I understand that different caveat about, like, well, this is the mainstream Marvel universe versus Injustice, which is a pocket parallel universe. But then again, in that same token, let them tell the story like you don't know what's going on, especially with that bombshell revelation in number 2. So like, let the story unfold as it may. Like, calm down. Don't be those people online who's raging about stuff they're not reading. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, what pisses me off is they're invoking the freaking ghost of Jack Kirby as though Jack Kirby will be mad at this. And I'm like, hey, guys, do your history. Jack Kirby actually did 2 issues of Cap where he literally did Hi Hitler to Hitler.
Exactly.
He literally had a storyline where Cap was a legit Nazi, complete with a Nazi swastika shield. I'm not even joking. Look that up.
Jeez, do your homework.
Again, I don't want to be that asshole, but yeah, you gotta do your homework, guys.
Well, sometimes you gotta be that guy, my friend. Sometimes you gotta be that guy.
I mean, but it's like, if put it this way, if it was as simple as, hey, I don't like seeing my favorite character be evil, I would understand that on the surface of it. I get it. Nobody likes seeing their favorite character be evil. And also, I kind of sort of blame the movies because Chris Evans has done a phenomenal job as Cap. So it's like, why is my Cap a fastest? You know, I get it. I totally understand it.
That's the same way of me saying, like, I don't want Peter Parker to be a billionaire, which I don't.
Well, he's Tony Stark light.
Yeah, pretty much.
Great value, Tony Stark?
Yeah, he's great value, Tony Stark, you know. Which, hey, look, I got blocked by Dan Slott because I did not like how sloppy he made the whole Peter and Doc Ock switch before Superior Spider-Man. I just felt it was sloppy. Superior Spider-Man as a book was fine. It's just the circumstances that led to that I felt it was like very sloppy.
And then the Amazing Spider-Man series after Superior, it did well, but of course, when Spider-Verse came out, that...
Oh yeah, it just blew it. But like I said, it's, so, you have Doc Ock, Spidey and stuff. Everybody loved it. My thing is with Steve, it's like, yo, guys, like, first off, if you win reading and stuff, Steve has been corrupted by the Cosmic Cube. That's one.
Exactly.
So, you know where this is going, or where it could possibly go. I'm not saying it does, because we'll get to that little spoiler at the end of the issue, too, but, like...
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. Yep.
So, but, like, he's controlled by the Cosmic Cube, first off. Majority of people that I sat there and asked, why are you mad? Well, he would never be fastest. I'm like, do you know the circumstances that led to that? No.
Then shut up.
And a lot of it is from articles that put up one panel from the book, which, let's be real about this. Last year, it kickstarted from one panel from the issue of Steve Rogers' Captain America where he said, Hail Hydra. And I'm like, if you read Assault on Pleasant Hill, then you know why that happened. And me and like two other people, we were saying it, but we felt like we were in an echo chamber. Nobody was trying to listen whatsoever.
Nope. They weren't.
And it went on for a year. Nick Spencer, he kept writing. People were shitting on him and stuff. And I'm not even talking about the trolls. Fuck the trolls for a minute, because those people are assholes and stuff. I'm talking about the people that legit were like, no, this is dumb. It's empowering Nazis. First off, this Hydra Cap thing is not empowering Nazis or KKK people or the alt-right.
It's all in its head. It's in his head.
Second off, even before Nick Spencer got his hands on Cap, Nazis were using Steve Rogers as their golden boy for the whole blonde hair, blue eye thing any damn ways. So it's like, yeah, I get maybe if you want to say the optics of it maybe looks bad because of that, but I'm like, is that Nick Spencer's fault? Like, I mean, you're going to blame Marvel because the KKK uses image, but Marvel going to sue the KKK?
Sheesh.
I mean, like, to me, if you're trying to invoke the ghost of Jack Kirby for your argument, sit down. If you're trying to say that this is going to empower KKK people, sit down.
Sit down.
If you're burning comic books without a sense of any irony about yourself,
thank you.
Please sit down and take a good look at your life and the decisions that led you to this point.
And here's the wild part, right? I was like, okay, you don't like Steve Rogers Cap, right? Okay, cool. There's another book, Sam Wilson Captain America, where he's upholding the values of Captain America in a very fucked up world where Steve Rogers' Hydra Cap is undermining the fuck out of him.
Right.
Are you reading that? Because sales dictate otherwise. You guys clearly aren't reading it, because if you hate Hydra Cap so much, that book would not be #1 every fucking week. Or actually every month, I should say.
Oh, what's that? People writing those think pieces?
Still reading it.
Yeah.
What's that? People writing think pieces? You're not reading it? Oh, that's right. So just nerds getting outraged about changes in comic books they're not reading? Gotcha.
Steve Rogers is literally higher selling than Sam Wilson Cap. I'm just saying.
I'm like, are you hate buying it? Like, what's going on here?
Well, it's like hate watching. You know how people, they're like, I hate Batman v Superman, but you just watched the Ultimate Edition. Why? You just paid WB money for that Ultimate Edition. Why? Because I hate it. I'm like, but you just joined. You're joining the whole. Join this whole outrage bandwagon. You know that, right? That's what it is. And I just hate where we're at right now, where it's like, hey, can we just let the story play itself out? Which had me laughing at issue 2 at the end, which could go either which way, but I'm laughing at the end of issue 2 where we find a bearded Steve Rogers saying, I'm trying to find my way back, and I was laughing my ass off wholeheartedly at that shit.
I guffawed several times.
Now, work with me on this one. These are two theories I got going and stuff. Okay, so first off, y'all read Hickman's New Avengers and Avengers that led up to Secret Wars, right?
Of course.
Yes.
Okay, so theory 1 is, you remember when Cap was going through time with the time gem and stuff?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. One of the best parts of that damn run.
Yes. Remember that he got to a future and he was all bearded up and stuff?
Yeah.
The following issue, all of a sudden, he's not bearded anymore and stuff. And he's looking young again. I have a theory that somehow, some way, because real talk, Spencer actually did help Hickman write those series too. He was actually on that book too. I think maybe Cap somehow got switched or whatever during that whole time displacement shit. Possibly.
Or you think it's side effects from the time gem? Possibly.
I also feel too, maybe something happened in Dimension Z during Remender's run.
That's my number 3 theory, is the Dimension Z.
Oh, you got 3. Well, what's the one that I didn't mention?
Well, I have one where I think, maybe one of those Caps is Ultimate Captain America.
Ooh.
Because remember, at the end, was it during the battle against Galactus, before he, we didn't recover a body, like, he disappeared, crashing that Quinjet into Atlantis' body.
Yeah, Storm just had a shield, that was it.
Which, by the way, while I'm on that note, I'm upset that A, Storm didn't become Captain America in Ultimate Universe, or B, Peter Parker didn't become Captain America in Ultimate Universe, because you set that ship up perfectly both ways. Fuck you, Marvel. I'll never forget you for that shit.
Miles led his own Avengers team with Ultimates. That's
exactly
something. That's the consolation prize of that. It's like we're not gonna make Miles Cap, but what we will do is we will have him lead his own Avengers, little teen Avengers group. Is that cool? Cool, which is funny. With that little side note, I find it funny that that's when the Ultimate Universe was on its last leg. Because I think it was only 3 books running during that time. It was the Miles-led Ultimates team, Miles' own book, and I think the X-Men. It's either X-Men or Fantastic Four.
Yes.
No, I think Fantastic Four was bingo. No, not Fantastic Four.
No.
Future Foundation.
Yeah, Future Foundation.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah, it was Future Foundation. So it was like 3 books. I was like, man, I remember when Ultimates had like a shit ton of books that was running at the same time. That's when I knew the writing was all like, oh, they're gonna cancel this damn series, this universe. This shit's gonna be done.
Turn the lights off.
And I think that's why they did Secret Wars. It was like, okay, we really gotta like meld all this shit together.
We gotta fix this.
All right. So my other theory is that all this is taking that part at the end with the builder Steve Rogers. That's taking place inside of his mind as he's fragmenting, pulling himself back together.
That could be another thing. That would make sense. That would actually make sense because technically, I guess the real Steve Rogers is in the sunken place.
Yes. All right. And my other theory, I guess would be my 4th theory, is that that is 6160, and the Hydra Cap is like parallel Days of Future Past Cap from an entirely different timeline. That the cubic they switch places. And so the bearded Cap was the Cap that got switched, and now he's trying to cross over back to the main timeline.
That would be pretty good. And you know what's funny?
That does work.
Any theory that literally has people shutting up about Hydra Cap will just have me rolling. Because again, funny enough, I didn't hear a peep from nobody when issue 2 dropped. Nobody.
Radio silence, wasn't it? So, what a shock! What a motherfucking shock!
I'm like, my name is Steve Rogers. I'm trying to find my way home. I'm like, nothing.
I didn't see not a think piece. Didn't see anybody tripping. I was like, it's quiet on the home front. Because I remember issue 1 happened, and then that free comic book day, it was like, how's Cat waving the hammer? He's not worthy. And then it's like, oh, radio silent. Huh.
How about that?
But
that.
I did like the new Steve Rogers book that came out where he literally
sporting the whole.
First off, Spencer is a troll because he literally, when the news reporter mentioned the Las Vegas incident in Secret Empire and stuff, Steve literally has her carted out the room. And she's like, "You can't do this to me." He's like, "Oh, I'm sure Twitter would be very outraged by this."
I was like, "Stop,
savage!
Stop it!"
Oh my god, that was funny. But he tends to do that. It's like, Spencer knows what he's doing and stuff. Because it's like, I feel he's trolling people because it's like, look, he's been very respectful for people that legit was like, hey, I'm not a fan of the book, but, it is what it is. He's been respectful to those people, but it's the people that really go ham on him for no reason that he'll troll the fuck out of. And I think it's actually pretty funny and stuff. So, yeah, people, you gotta chill with the Hydra Cap stuff because it's not good for your health. And you gotta let the storyline play itself out. You got to
let it rock. I mean, if you want to go bash in a storyline, go bash Civil War 2.
At some point, I promised Prime this that we definitely got to talk about Civil War 2 because I think
please.
I feel I'm the only person in the minority that was like, it wasn't bad. It could have been better, but it wasn't bad.
You're on that bridge by yourself, my friend.
Apparently, I am. Hey, it's not as bad as the bridge of that one person I knew that loved Civil War 1. I'm like, what?
Oh, what?
Hold on.
It's like, you like Civil War 1? Man, I remember buying the 7th issue when I got back from deployment. I was like, what is this shit? What happened? Why is Cap crying in my book? What's going on here?
Why Captain America doesn't cry?
It's like Cap's crying. He's getting tackled by the damn fire department. I'm like, what's going on here, man?
He's getting beaten to a pulp by Iron Man. I was like, stop
I was fine with that, but this is like, let me get this right. You stop beating the shit out of Cap because the people told you to. Okay, Millar, I get you.
And then a few weeks or months later, you shoot him.
So I read this shit, and the whole time going, I was like, "This is not the same man that read Red Sun. This can't be. This is just." Is he in the sunken place? Like, what the fuck what is this? What is this?
I maintain, Civil War 1 peaked at issue 4. That's where I was like, oh, this book.
That shit peaked at issue 1 for me, bro.
Wow.
I was like, man, issue 1 was so awesome. What's issue 2?
No.
What is this shit?
Like Spider-Man revealed himself. What? Get out of here!
I was fine with that. That was a legit shocking moment. I thought that was actually a good turning point. And before Marvel audibled on that shit with Deal with the Devil, which I didn't get on that. They had a good concept because I love that fight between Peter and Kingpin in jail, where Peter was like, "Hey, dog, you might know who I am, but at any point in time, I can kill you." And I was like, "All right, Peter, I like you. I like to cut your jib. That's smart."
You got some balls.
And the cool thing is, Kingpin played it straight. Like, yeah, this kid probably could kill me. So, you know what? We're good. We're fine. Cool. I know I shot your grandmother, but we're good, right? We're cool. You're not gonna kill me. All right, bet. Speaking of which, y'all reading Black Panther?
Yes, I am.
I'm still waiting on all trades.
Okay. Well, did you read any of the Coates ones at least, or?
Yeah, I read the first 2 issues.
Okay,
The first 2 issues.
Okay.
Okay. For the first arc, A Nation at Our Feet, I want to say it dragged out, but I know with Coates' writing, he's trying to. When Coates writes a story, he's trying to make you see the reason for it, which he did with this arc. But I'm saying to make it, 12 parts, pretty much an entire year.
Hey, that was the Hickman school of long form storytelling. It's like you either get with it or it's either you get with it or just tough shit.
Or jump off the boat.
When we were on issue, was it 5 of his Avengers / New Avengers run? When I realized that was going to be the story for the entire book, I had to readjust my expectations for that run.
Because here's the thing. Hickman goes deep cut, right? He'll go deep cut and bring up old shit that you're like, let me go back and read this book. Because he did that with the S.H.I.E.L.D. book. S.H.I.E.L.D. was like, yo, they deep cut the shit out of this. And then it's like, you read Secret Warriors, and if you were like me that read the S.H.I.E.L.D. book, you're like, okay, that's where Secret Warriors is going in at. I had people that read Secret Warriors, and they was like, so when the hell did S.H.I.E.L.D. become part of Hydra? Glad you asked. Read the S.H.I.E.L.D. book, then you'll understand everything. And it's like, okay, and that's what Coates did. Coates took everything from Priestess run and Hudlin run, and also the run that Hickman did, and the stuff from Doom War, and the stuff, just everything all the way up to that point, and that's what Coates did. That's why it's 12 issues, because he's literally like, oh, I'm going to long form the shit out of this book, and you either take it or leave it.
Yep.
And I mean, some people like it. Some people were like, fuck this, I don't want to read this Black Panther. Why is this Black Panther more focused on Wakanda? I'm like, well, because I think that's what Coates was going for. Like,
pretty much, he was.
It's all about Wakanda and how Wakanda is basically more or less Wakanda is fed up with Black Panther shit. Because he's like, hey, dog, we just went through Doom War where you basically bankrupted Wakanda by making the vibranium useless. We got flooded by the Atlanteans. The fucking Doom, Thanos' crew came down and wrecked our shit. Like, yeah, you're not a good king, dog. So yeah, the people are fed up, and it was literally 12 issues of you really figuring this is just the people revolting because of Panther, and that's why they went to what's his face? Was it Stain? Is it Stain?
I forgot.
It's either Stain or Hammer. I want to say it was Stain.
It was Stain. Yes. It was Stain.
Stain's son. Who ended up being
not Obadiah. Not Obadiah. What was his name?
Ezekiel.
Ezekiel.
Yeah, Ezekiel Stain. And he's the one that was behind it. And I was like, me and Dee were joking when I told him that. And he was like, yeah, behind every black villain, there's always a rich white dude behind him. Boom, there you go. Stain was the rich white dude behind all the shenanigans. I was like, well, of course, you have to. Why not? So, but like I said, the overall arc is good. The one that's going on now, though, is dealing with the gods, the Wakandan gods. And
I find that really good. And I'm just going to say this, Marvel, I mean, I believe in Coates, but Marvel, if you teasing us with Black Panther and Storm, I promise you, you're going to have a whole army of fans knocking at your door, ready to burn you down.
That's Coates' blind spot, man. He is. I guess he's apparently team Storm Black Panther. I did not think he was.
Because if he's stepping into that territory, he needs to be very careful. Because after what happened in Avengers vs. X-Men, that left a lot of people unhappy.
Yeah, definitely. So Prime, good sir, got a question for you.
Yes.
Are you reading Rebirth, specifically this Batman Flash team up. Which, by the way, people that are like, "Oh my God, DC is topping Rebirth," I want you to take a good look at the top 10 last month. It's bullshit. 4 of those books were basically variant covers for the Flash and Batman books.
Pretty much.
So I'm like, we got duped into thinking DC just took those top spots with different books. It was just 4 of the same Batman Flash crossover books.
And on top of that, plus with their other imprints like Wild Animal and the Hanna-Barbera imprints.
So, Brian, what's your thoughts on Rebirth?
General, or the Button storyline in particular?
General, then Button.
All right, General. I'm liking it. It's restoring a lot of the things. Like, a lot of the things that I like about DC is the legacy.
Yes.
And I didn't freak out a lot of people about New 52 because, again, I'm an old dude. I've been here for a long time. I've seen continuity lines go. I've seen them come. I've seen Crisis on Infinite Earths. I've seen 0 Hour. I've seen Final Crisis.
We survived all the Crisis books.
Thank God. All the Crisis books.
I've seen revamps across the board. Now, I know we talked about this briefly once about how I said, like, I can understand how some people are a little miffed about the whole inception of the New 52 because, for example, before they did the Crisis on Infinite Earths reboot, like, with Crisis on Infinite Earths, you were able to say goodbye to a lot of characters. Like, a lot of characters had their final moment.
Yep.
Before we went to New 52, all we had was Flashpoint, which wasn't the original characters, which was a divergent timeline. So when that divergent timeline was dealt with, we banned. Now all the books are now the New 52 continuity, and you're like, wait a minute, like, I didn't get any closure with the characters that I liked or the characters that I loved. Mm-hmm. So I can kind of see the little miffing about that. Like, I can feel you on that. But also know, again, like, this is what they do. Like, I'm pretty sure and I said this even on Twitter, like, I'm pretty sure New 52 is going to either be changed over to another new continuity initiative, or they're going to slowly bleed through elements of previous continuities into New 52. And to my completely non-shock, they did option 2.
Yeah.
With Rebirth. Because, by the way, like, I got to keep reminding people, Rebirth is not a retcon. Like, the New 52 timeline, they're still in the New 52 timeline.
They just killed New 52 Superman so we can have one Superman. That's about it.
You fused them both.
And
they fused them both. Which, by the way, if you didn't read Superman Reborn, fuck you, because I need you to help me out and keep that shit going. Because the Superman book haven't been this strong in like a long time.
Yo, by the way, real quick though, before you continue, Prime. Yo, what was up with Superman literally looking like Oliver getting off the island with the beard? It was like, finally, I'm alive.
Wait now. Which time now? You talking about for the Lois and Clark, or are you talking about for Convergence?
The Lois and Clark. The Lois and Clark one.
Man, forget you, man. I love me some bearded Superman. Did you read in Convergence when he came back when John Constantine was like, "Hey Clark, we need you." Nah, man, I'm good. Clark, we need your help. Nah, man, I'm good. Clark, fine, fuck it, do it myself. Then, like, they did that awesome splash page where he's flying through the air past those 2 fighter jets, and he has that full-on rocking man beard and a t-shirt and jean combo. Hey, that shit was dope as fuck.
I read Futures In when they had bearded Superman in there, and I was like, this is actually pretty dope. I like this.
Bearded Superman is the shit. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh, no. I ain't knocking it so much that I was just laughing at, so basically New 52 Superman got killed so we can get bearded Superman. Okay.
Now, by the way, like, I've been like that whole story plotline thread, like, was like, I was kind of had a little trepidation because I didn't know what they were gonna do with it, because I really like what Grant Morrison did at the beginning of New 52 with Superman when he brought him back down to his golden age roots where he's like busting up corrupt businessmen and shit.
Yeah.
And he was like way more brash and way more headstrong. Like, I really like this.
Wasn't it too? It was like Superboy and Superman.
It was a mixture.
Mm-hmm. Where he's like a little more assertive. Like, I'm really digging this. This is kind of dope. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, again, I'm used to different interpretations of a character, different iterations of a character. So, like, I like the winking, smile, optimistic Superman. But it's something to be said about a Superman that'll snatch a gun out of somebody's hand and break that shit, and then hold him over a railing and say, like, if you don't treat people right, then I'm coming for you too. I kind of like that.
Leave the interrogating to Batman.
Kind of like headstrong Superman. I kind of dig it.
Yeah.
And so, with the Rebirth line, where the Hamilton County stuff, like the stuff with them and John raising. Who, by the way, before I go any further, John is basically Gohan. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
I said that when I read issue number either 3 or 4 of Superman. I immediately said that. I'm like, that's a Gohan moment right there.
I'm like, he's just basically Gohan, but Superman's a better father than Goku. That's basically all this shit is.
Pretty much.
It's not hard to not be a dirtbag like Goku. It really is.
I mean, that's totally easy. Just be in the house.
Look at Vegeta. Vegeta's like, yeah, I'm training, but hey, Trunks wants to train too, so already he has a leg up on Goku at being a better father.
Doesn't that blow your fucking mind? Like, Vegeta now is a better father than Goku. Fucking Vegeta.
Even when he went Majin Vegeta, he was still a better father.
We were still father of the year because he was like, son, I'm sacrificing myself for you. Now get out of here. Then he detonated. Like, what the fuck?
Freaking kneed him in the stomach and gave him the Piccolo. Like, yeah, I'm gonna blow myself up, so take care of him. Bye.
Protect my boy. Or when he marked out on Cell, when Cell shot Future Trunks in the chest and he like had that Kill Bill snap moment.
Yeah.
Yep. I love his moments like that, always.
It's not hard. It really isn't hard. So it's like, at this point, though, like I said, it's just with Superman, like I said, it's just, he's just an overall better father. It really isn't.
Yep.
It's like, it's been an utter joy to read. If you can't tell by my enthusiastic voice and excited about it. Like, if you haven't been reading Rebirth, if New 52 kind of steered you off of Superman, you're kind of like, Super Dad, as I'm calling him, because that's what I call Rebirth Superman, and New 52 Superman, and Super Bro. If Super Bro kind of got you off Superman a little bit, just peek in a bit and see what Super Dad's doing, because Super Dad's been pretty dope, because they've been doing like some really crazy off the wall Silver Agey type things, like where Superman and John went to that island and they had like a whole homage issue to DC The New Frontier. It's great stuff is going on over there, and I highly recommend it.
Meanwhile,
that was awesome stuff.
Meanwhile, his son is part of the Teen Titans now, and him and Damian have been beefing for a hot second.
Well, and he's not on Titans yet. Like, I think the solicit coming out is like he's going to be working with the Titans, but I don't think he's going to be joining those.
It made it look like he was going to join. Maybe that's my interpretation.
Yeah, it was that. I know what you're talking about. That one issue that they released with him, like on the cover. Yeah,
standing in front of the team. So, with the team standing in front of him.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, him and Damian, like, I really like their dynamic because I'm like, that's what casuals think Batman and Superman act like towards each other. So I'm glad like they'll get that dynamic somewhere, because
it's kind of like the same thing that Connor and Tim had a little bit, just less bickering, more.
Really, I don't know. I never got that from Tim and Connor. Tim and Connor always struck me as kind of more friendly. Like maybe that initial meeting, they had that little headbutt moment. But after that, they seemed to become pretty fast friends in Young Justice, where they would hang out and eat pizza with Impulse.
That was awesome.
Side note, quick though, I really miss those three.
Exactly,
I miss them so much.
We all do.
By the way, there was like a panel in one of the New 52 Superman books. I mean, not New 52 Rebirth Superman books. Like after he merged with New 52 Superman, where he was like going over his history, and there was like a page showing like the storyline of the death, rebirth, and return of Superman, and they talked about the air quote Superman replacements that showed up. Now I don't know about you, but this shit rubbed me the wrong way, where they showed the Eradicator, Steel, and Cyborg Superman and didn't show Superboy. Like, that shit triggered me so hard. And I'm like, and the whole issue, Superman was talking, and the whole since New 52, the New Rebirth started, Superman had been talking about, like, something's missing. Like, after I merged with my New 52 counterpart, like, I feel like something's missing. I'm like, if you don't reveal that something is missing is your clone brother, I'm going to be mad as fuck if you don't reveal Connor's still alive.
Clone brother / son.
Somebody's getting put through a goddamn table if you don't reveal Superboy. Because first of all, y'all teased us with him when y'all first announced Rebirth, because they had like a silhouette of like all the characters that they said we're bringing back to the forefront in Rebirth, and like I think standing next to either Green Arrow or somebody else's silhouette was like a Superboy with the leather jacket, and I was like, ah shit, guys, my dude Connor. But then they announced John, like, oh no, we're gonna do the son of Lois and Superman. I'm like, okay, so is he gonna be teaming up with John? Are they gonna be like Gohan and Gotenks? Is that what's gonna be happening here? Is this can I get that? No, what's that? Fuck me. Oh well, thank you, DC. I think I'll have another.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you remember when New 52 happened? And he had that Tron Legacy suit.
What the fuck was going on with that whole? What was going on with Superboy during that Teen Titans line? Like,
I don't know. You know what? I got
like
lost.
He died like twice, and then like what was it that that Kryptonian thing, was it Hell, popped up and was gunning for his ass. Like what's going on here?
All I know is, I got lost with them right around Forever Evil. That's where I was like, okay, I don't know what the hell is happening, and I just remember like somehow.
No, here's my problem.
They did some shenanigans. Hold on, they did some shenanigans where his conscience was in another dimension. Like, I don't know what the hell is going on with this character.
This is which I want to know what the heck was going through their minds during that time. I don't even want to call him Connor. That Superboy. That's what I'm saying. That Superboy was in another dimension where an evil alternate version comes to his universe, and the Titans didn't even know it until like 2 years late. No, not even 2 years. Like after Forever Evil, I'm like, oh my gosh, this isn't our Superboy. And like, you're just figuring that out.
And then wasn't that Superboy an evil version of John?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, and so then whatever shenanigans, he disappears, right? What was the end of his storyline? Then Connor or Khan or
he comes back,
and
then he didn't even last that long, and he left the Teen Titans, and after that, we haven't heard nothing.
Yeah, it just disappeared and stuff. I mean, I don't even know what the hell they want to do with that character. That's why I'm like, if they bring him back, all right, we'll see what happens and stuff. But the button, what are you thinking of that so far?
Oh, it ended. Now a lot of people. I don't mean like that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean like. I liked it. It was fine.
All right.
It was good.
I saw some people mad. Like, so we had 4 issues of nothing. I'm like, first of all, it wasn't nothing. Like, if you thought they were going to resolve the entire Dr. Manhattan fucks with the DC Universe thing and like a 4-issue crossover between the Flash and the Batman, you're fucking
wrong.
stupid. You're an idiot. You're just wrong. You sit there in your wrongness and you just be wrong. But that said, from what we got, I thought they laid like a lot of really good seeds. Mm-hmm. I really like the Bat Dad and Son, like don't talk to me, my son again moment. I also like that really cool callback they did to Crisis on Infinite Earths where Bat Dad charges into the White Wall. I love everything they did with Reverse Flash, especially where he talked about like, I'm going to go back and change the timeline again, Barry. I'm going to make you my son. And I'm just like, this is one of the reasons why Reverse Flash is one of the best villains in comic books.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Because he's so deliciously petty.
Most savage.
Is both petty and savage. I think that's his Twitter. That's his Tumblr user handle.
Yeah.
I also like I know we talked about this on the Power Ranger episode, but I really love those pages of the Easter eggs filling in all the history again, with like the Whirligog, the Hourman's time ship, the Red Rocket suit in the Justice League trophy room. All that shit was just
Martian Manhunt's original suit. Oh my
yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Here's the kicker with the button that had me wilding. Saturn Girl. When she's like freaking the fuck out when she's remembering Legion of Superheroes, it's like, so we're gonna get Legion and Rebirth now?
I'm like,
I'm waiting.
Let's jump to the Legion real quick. When they brought them into the New 52 universe, darn well their series did not sell well at all.
I don't think they really. I don't even know if that was their aim, was to necessarily get like a lot of selling out of Legion and stuff. I don't know. I guess maybe they did, but then again, this is the same New 52. They were trying to do something with Grifter and Voodoo, and it didn't really necessarily go the way they wanted it to.
Nope.
So.
And the Legion of Superheroes is the most underrated team in DC.
Bar none. Like the Legion is awesome. Like I got into like verbal spats with people who were like, the Legion looks kind of lame. I'm like, fuck you, you uncultured swine. I'm gonna need you to stop right now. And then I even like put out my ear, like I'm gonna need you to stop right now, and I'm just gonna pull off a random Legion run. I'm gonna need you to go back to, let's say, I'm gonna do fair because you sound like you're pretty casual. It sound like you're pretty plebeian. So let me get you back to, would you say the 99, 98 series would be a good start for somebody?
Yeah.
Jumping into Legion?
Yeah, because I need a Legion of Superheroes series to read, because the only thing that got me, like, Legion info was, like, pretty much crossover events, like, when they, that Teen Titans team-up that they did, and, the Final Crisis, Legion of Three Worlds, which is a
phenomenal. That book is fucking amazing.
I love that book. I love that book.
That book is great. Now, also, if you want something a little more current, like there was a run right around right after Identity Crisis, the Justice League America book that had relaunched, they had a Legion crossover called
the Lightning Saga. I love.
Yeah, that's pretty good too. So if you're looking at some Legion, check that out.
Too.
Those would be my 3 recommendations. If you're curious about the Legion, also it doesn't hurt. You might want to also try to check out the Kids WB show. Now they took a lot of liberties with that cartoon, but like I still feel like it captured the essence of the Legion. So it'll be a good place to just to peek your head into.
That show was low key good, but I felt once they got that future Superboy, it was like way broken.
It dropped a lot. It dropped. Would you recommend the 2005 Legion of Superheroes series, the one with Brainiac 5 on the front cover?
Was that the one that had the Starman who was time displaced when he was with the Justice Society?
Yep. Yeah. Mark Waid.
Yeah. Gee, shit. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm going back.
You gotta have to hit me up with these books so I can put it in the show notes. That way, like, oh, what is the books again?
Yeah, because
we got you. Like, I don't know. Like, it's Mark Wayne, so there's going to be something of value, something of note there. Mm-hmm. But like, I'm thinking back now, like nothing about that run was really throwing that at me, so I don't really think I would recommend that to somebody who's just interested in getting into the Legion.
Yeah. Here's another thing about the button hat that was actually interesting. So, Reverse Eobard Thawne comes back, and he is still pissed. Because of the bullet that got put inside his head by Thomas Wayne in the Flashpoint, and he remembers that shit. And he remembers that shit, and he proceeds to put hands on Bruce.
It was like, your father put a bullet in my head. Now I'm gonna end you.
And guess who comes to save him? Thomas Wayne. Again.
Like, now, son.
What I really liked about that fight is like. When Reverse Flash was beating the shit out of Batman. Well, first of all, I enjoyed that. Second of all,
of course, I mean, come on, that's basically what Barry would do if he actually was pissed off at Bruce. 'Cause I think there was an issue where Barry was looking at Bruce like, "Hey, dog, at any point in time, I can kill you if I want to." I don't know if it was Wally or Barry that said that. I want to say it was Wally.
If it was around the 90s or 2000s, it was more than likely Wally.
Wally was like, "Hey, dog, I can kill you anytime I want to. I'm just FY on that." So,
our boy Wally.
Yeah,
where was I going? Oh, and what I really liked about that fight is like when Batman was like watching Reverse Flash and going, "Okay, he's constantly vibrating, so I can't touch him, but he's still able to stand. So like that must mean his feet are still solid. So he stabbed the battery in his foot, and I really like that." And I know, like, Tom King's Batman run gets a lot of flack because I know a lot of people go, "Man, this Batman sucks because he's always getting beat up." I'm like, this Batman sucks because he's human?
Yes.
Like, what's, I mean, I'm like, it's like, and I know you people are used now because for years we had the Snyder run where it was basically the bad guy. He's like, "Well, this is my giant robot I have for this particular occasion." I'm like, okay, that's fun some of the time, but like, I don't want that in the Batman story like all the fucking time.
Then we had Darkseid Wars where he literally became a god.
Bat God. The Bat God.
Or he wearing shit like the Hellbat armor. Like, that shit's fine, like, occasionally, but, like, I don't want that out of every single fucking Batman story. Like, come on, man.
Gotta make him look human.
Yeah. Don't make him OP all the time.
And again, I think around in comic books, that started right around Morrison's Justice League, because Morrison's Justice League Batman had some real OP Bat God moments, like, for real.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I think a lot of people took that shit and they've run, like, too far with it, and like, I'm gonna need y'all to scale that shit back some.
Morrison and Sully is not in his repertoire here, sir.
Well, I mean, that's Morrison. I was about the people who took the shit that Morrison did, and now they're running with it.
So Thomas Wayne kills Reverse Flash again, right?
Yep.
So pivotal moment here. Thomas is looking at Bruce, and he's like, "Hey, dog, just to help your conscience and stuff, me and your mother never wanted you to become Batman. You don't need to be Batman again. Just saying." Before Thomas Wayne ends up fading off, into the timeline and stuff. I thought that was actually pretty interesting that they threw that in there because now it's like, okay, so what's Batman going to do now? I
really like that character moment because that's going to lead to like conflict later on because his dad said, "Let the Batman die with me."
Yeah,
he's like,
don't do this for me and your mom.
Like, be what I couldn't be to you. Be a father. Yep. He's like had that moment where he's sitting at the bar with a glass, going, "Oh no, everything I know is a lie."
And then
Now you have to actually be a dad to Damian now.
Which he won't be because Batman's trash. He's a horrible father. Ask Dick. Ask Jason. They know.
I mean, hey, I would say out of all the Robins, Dick probably came out the more reasonable.
He became that uncle.
Granted, if you want to talk cartoons, I would probably say Terry McGinnis.
Oh, poor Terry.
I mean, which... You know what? I will never forgive DC for what they did to Terry, because it's like now I have to literally read the Batman Beyond animated tie-in comics in order to really that's the Terry that I want, because New 52, the Future's End fucked that whole thing up. I'm like, oh, why did you bring him in?
I stopped with that series around issue 3.
They got it back on track because at least now Terry is Batman again.
Okay, thank God. Okay, because I didn't read it since Tim was Batman Beyond.
Yeah,
are you serious? Oh my God.
Yeah, that shit's crazy. It turned into some weird ass Terminator book for a while, but now it's back on track where it's future Gotham, Terry's Batman, and they're trying to just rebuild the city. The shit that happened with the Brother Eye, all that still happened.
Yeah, all that's still canon for them.
But now they're trying to build it up, so they're trying to rebuild civilization, and everything is kind of coalescing back more to what the cartoon looked like.
Yep. Okay. I'm not. You got to read the first arc. That first arc had a big twist, a real big twist at the end of that arc. It was really good.
Of Terry becoming Batman again.
Yeah.
Yes, if you pick it up from when Terry becomes Batman, because that first arc where he's fighting against the Jokers. Yeah. The twist has 2 twists in it, and it's really interesting. So, just stick with it. Just don't groan at it. Just go what? Just stay with it. Just stay with it. See where it goes.
And it is, like you said, it is pulling stuff from the animated series. It's pulling that same route to go back to its roots of what the OG Batman Beyond was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. But I'm kind of curious to see where we go after this now with the Rebirth books now, because like I said, I think now I finally started catching up with the Wally West book and the Flash book, and I'm curious. You know what's funny about Wally West? I find it funny that the biggest question that I think only a handful of us were asking from post Flashpoint all the way up to Rebirth was so where's Wally at? Nobody's gonna question where's Wally at?
Exactly.
Wallace. Where Wallace at?
Where Wallace at, man?
Where Wallace at?
String. Where Wallace at, man? Dog, I don't think I was the only person that was questioning. I think D questioned it, and I was like, "So you just gonna give us Black Wally West from Earth 2, huh? So where's the other Wally? What's going on here?"
I'm like, "What other Wally? The OG Wally."
And I find it funny that they're now trying to do this whole "we're gonna have our cake and eat it too," so we're gonna give you both Wallies and you're gonna like it.
I'm not mad at it.
I ain't mad either. But
me neither.
It was no, we're just gonna keep both Wallies. We're not gonna kill the black one off.
No, but the way they did it though, so there's another Wally West. So I'm like, that means he must be my cousin. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I'm like, I'll take it. As long as you get, I don't care. You can give me strawberry and chocolate Wally West all you want. Just keep my boy with me. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, the only thing I'm saying is basically, also on top of that, what was it? Who was it? Damn it, I'm freaking blanking out on the name now. Never mind. I forget.
What character was it? Male or female?
Freaking Black Power Girl.
Okay.
I'm surprised she's still around. I thought they were gonna drop her with a hot brick. First of all, I thought she was dead as shit because she was a minority female character in the Teen Titans book. Oh, bitch, you dead as shit. I was like, you marked out his hair. You dead as a motherfucker.
I know Bumblebee's still thriving, so you know.
I was like, Titans. That's a chop shop factory. Goddamn, they would have killed some characters quick. That's what they go and do. They go through a fucking Titan. So I'm like, man, Power Girl, Tanya, please don't die, girl. Please don't die. So I'm really happy that she's popped up in Deathstroke.
Yeah, because wasn't there okay, I got completely lost in the sauce during Futures End and Convergence. Didn't they do a Black Robin?
Duke.
Duke?
That was a future.
No, there was another one where he was dressed up in the Robin costume. It wasn't Duke from We Are Robin.
Oh, you talking about that one panel from Snyder where it showed a Batman in the future with a Black Robin?
Mm-hmm.
That was Duke.
That was Duke?
Yep,
yeah.
That was Duke.
That's supposed to be Duke? Okay.
Now, 2, have y'all been reading Deathstroke?
No. Sorry.
I've been popping in off and on. Like I'm gonna read it now because I'm following the Lazarus Contract.
Lazarus Contract.
This fool got the fucking Speed Force.
I'm like, boy, how?
He siphoned speed from Chocolate Wally West.
Dog, here's what wound me out. There's a panel, no bullshit, where Wally is like, yo, I had to fucking run the fuck away from Slade. I used to be cocky as shit, but yo, Slade got the Speed Force now.
I'm not running after you.
I gotta go. I can't be fighting Slade, but he got the Speed Force.
He's like, Slade's on my territory right now.
So I guess apparently Wally is he's seeking help from Jericho to figure out how to beat Slade and stuff. And I gotta say, Christopher Priest has been writing the shit out of Deathstroke.
That's two has been nominated for awards, hasn't it?
Huh?
I said that too has been nominated for awards, hasn't it?
I think so. I believe so.
Interesting. Wow.
20 issues, man. That's crazy. This thing's been going on for 20 issues. I was
20 issues?
Yeah.
I'm surprised the villain has an ongoing book lasting this long.
Hey, man. Somehow they managed to make Deathstroke look. When they did the God Killer arc and stuff, and they had him fighting Wonder Woman, a lot of people called bullshit. I'm like, I'm pretty sure the Slade could probably handle his own against Wonder Woman, because I think in that issue, eventually she got help from the other Amazonians against him. So I'm like, yeah. I mean, that's why I laughed at people. There was like, when they said Deathstroke might be in the Justice League movie, I'm like, well, I mean, look, he ain't gonna fight Superman, but he could probably fight Wonder Woman, if they were like, sword fighting or some shit. I mean, yeah, she could probably punch a hole in them, but still, it's a possibility he can handle he can handle himself,
Yeah.
It's not real, but him having the Speed Force now, I was like, holy shit.
And I think we're gonna stick around with the Deathstroke series, because I looked to see what's upcoming. I see we get a certain character that he teamed up with back in the 80s is coming back again.
I think so.
Yep. Tara's coming back.
Yeah, I think Tara's supposed to be joining his new little crew, because I think it's supposed to be Tara, both his kids, Rose and Jericho,
and Wally
and Power Girl.
Chocolate Wally.
Yeah, Chocolate Wally and Power Girl. Black Power Girl.
Chocolate Wally kicked the boot with the Titans and I can't stay here no more.
I think the only reason why he's doing it, because I think the newest issue was basically like, hey dog, I don't think people are believing the fact that you're good now, so yeah. What do I have to do to make you feel good? Oh, okay, I get a bunch of teen superheroes. All right, cool. Granted, the last time he had a teen superheroes, he used them to fight the Titans, so
yep.
Not necessarily looking too hot on that end, so
Yeah, Slade has a way for using teens against teenagers.
Oh yeah, always and stuff. I think because like I said, I'm finally getting my dip of the toe back into it. I actually told Prime I am starting out reading Aquaman: Rock of Ages, so we can talk about this.
Justice League. Yes.
Yes. So yeah, definitely jumping on that and stuff. Speaking of which, did y'all see that picture of Mira from the Aquaman movie?
Love it.
Oh baby,
love it.
With the all color, it's not the Zack Snyder, filter out stuff. I was like, oh, so James Wan knows what color.
He knows what he's doing.
Oh yes,
I'm curious.
Sweet Mira.
I mean, because what little oh, go ahead.
I was saying I wasn't even a big fan of Amber Heard as Mira. I was like, I don't know. Then I saw that picture and I was like, I'm on board.
I was like, I'm good. I'm sold.
I mean, this dude got like a lot of villains, because I guess apparently Black Manta's dad is going to be in the movie on top of Black Manta, and I'm like,
oh, really?
Yeah. I think
I know you got Ocean Master in there too.
Yeah, Ocean Master.
Okay, here's I gotta say.
What's the name of the villains from Jeff Johns' first arc?
The Trench.
Yeah, the Trench is supposed to be in the movie.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you giving us the Trench?
Yeah, they got the Trench.
Oh yes.
Shut up and take my fucking money.
Yes. Here's what I gotta say though. Since you're putting both Black Manta and Ocean Master in that movie, do not do what you did with the Throne of Atlantis animated film. Do not do that.
If they're smart, what they're doing is they're just setting up Ocean Master to be the villain in the second movie.
That makes perfect sense. But just don't have.
I don't need Manta to just get eaten by a shark and that's it.
Exactly, because that was Manta had no purpose in that movie.
What a waste!
What a waste of character.
I think I was actually very hype about that when they remember that that after credit scene in Justice League War where it was like Ocean Master like, damn
Shows
you
up.
humans.
I was like, yes, Northern
It's
Atlantis.
like, that's not the humans' fault, right? That was all Darkseid there. So why are you mad at the surface world again?
Shut up! I needed a reason. Shut up!
Oh man, yeah, but that's Rock of Ages. I think that's gonna probably be a fun read because I get Hook, Aquaman now, and I get Kal Rayner in it too. So
yeah,
you get Wally West, and you get, because of the moment of time it was made in, you get Electric Blue Superman.
yeah, that was that era that people weren't really feeling that Justice League. Team.
yeah, but it still was one of the best Justice League runs in the end.
I mean, it's Grant fucking Morrison. Are you gonna really be mad at that? It's like that dude's crazy. He'll just do anything, and you be like, you better like.
And I think his book has some of the best uses of Electric Superman out of any of the books that was coming out at that time.
Yep.
I'm one of those people that didn't give two shits about Electric Superman.
I didn't care about it either. It's just okay.
I mean, it's just, again, like, it's going to be like that same thing. We look back at the Hickman's Avengers run going like, why is Spider-Man acting like an asshole in this? Oh, wait, because it's Doc Ock.
Yeah, it's Doc Ock. Him
Exactly.
him being borderline racing Al Ewing's Mighty Avengers, and it's like, how did that happen? It's like, oh well, yeah, that was the thing.
Can we talk about the current Justice League Rebirth comic right now? Because
Go for it.
Ryan Hitch, please, let's start.
The first arc, the whatchamacallit machines.
Station machines?
Yeah, it was, and then I remember at the end, one of the machines mentioned like a crisis is brewing, like maybe it could lead into another crisis, maybe. But once Outbreak came in, that first issue, I was like, what the heck did I just read? Like, what the heck is this mess? And right up to the end of that arc, I'm like, okay, you put a whole bunch of villains in there just to be the saving grace of this land. All right. Timeless, not bad. Timeless was not bad. Now we go back to this mess. I'm like, ugh. Like,
Hey, but we're getting Justice League International back.
are we?
Yeah, yeah. Justice League International. What was it? I think was it Killer Frost and Adam.
Oh, you mean Justice League of America?
Yeah, the JLA one. We're actually getting the game back.
That book is actually really good, and I'm surprised. Out of all titles, Justice League, its bread and butter is not doing well. I find that so hard.
They're going to keep that going because of the movie coming out. So
of course,
Yeah,
they're going to keep that going.
But, like, the fact that it's not of the quality that it could be, and, like, not to knock, like, Jeff Johns, but, like, for a while, Justice League hasn't been up to snuff to, like, the book, like, what I'm used to. Like, even like stuff that's overlooked. Like, I really think that Joe Kelly and James Robinson and Brad Meltzer, I think those runs are overlooked. Mm-hmm. Are they as good as previous? No, not really. But like, there's still some really good, strong
Yes, it has
character work. It has moments. Even the Dwayne McDuffie run, like it was all really good stuff there.
Yeah,
but like
the Dwayne McDuffie run gets a lot of bashing, which I don't understand why.
And it's not his fault he gets that bashing, because he was saddled with a bunch of editorial mandates that he had no control over. But all he could do was just go with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. The Justice League arc, that was like my favorite.
Oh, that it just was so good. If you haven't read that in Dwayne McDuffie's Injustice Gang or Justice League arc, it was like I think 4 issues.
Yes, it was 4 issues long, but it was I consider it one of his best works.
It is a really solid. It's a really solid Justice League story.
Something you would see in a cartoon, but it works.
Something we kind of saw shades of in mini cartoons.
Yeah.
Where was I going? Oh, so we get to the point now where Jeff Johns takes over in Justice League doing the New 52, and I got excited because I loved his Justice Society run and I loved his Teen Titans run. Right, so this is just like a match made in heaven. How wrong was I? Like, I'm not saying it was bad. It's just like not the quality that I was used to from this creator and from
some story arcs
that grouping of characters.
Some stories were good. Some were like, what?
It was like, and there was not even no like standard. It was all flatline across the way. Either it was just okay or just like, WTF are you doing, mate?
And Jeff Johns is not that kind of person to do that.
And exactly, he's not that kind of writer. So I'm just like extra confused and confuffled about that. And then now we got to the Brian Hitch run, where I think Brian Hitch goes, well, I got the Justice League, so every single issue has to be big. Like, this has to be a, air quote, blockbuster Hollywood movie every issue. And I'm like, No, it doesn't, Bob, because you're not building into that. Let's say, like, look at his first issue versus look at Grant Morrison's first issue, where Grant Morrison built up to the HyperClan threat. Like,
and look at yours.
And then look at yours. It's like, I just want to have a bunch of shit smashed into shit. I'm like, that's not even what Justice League is, like, 99% of the time. Like, what are you doing, dude? What's going on here?
Yeah.
And again, it's not bad. It's just okay. It's not what I expect. It's not what I expect. Like, I have a certain expectation with this group of characters because there are a lot of really interesting things you can do with Justice League. And I think I've said this before on the show. Like, the Justice League is my favorite superhero team, and that's for like a good reason. So I have a certain level of I expect things. I mean, I know that sounds like really entitled. Like you're not entitled to anything. Yeah, I know that. But like, what was giving me in the past, even shit like in the 70s or 60s. Here's another Justice League run. I'm trying to remember the exact name of this story.
Was it Justice League Detroit?
No, it was a.
Forgot that team existed.
And again, that wasn't bad because I was that has its moments too because I was watching The Flash last night and there was a moment between Vibe and Gypsy that made me have like a slight tear in my eye because I remember reading Vibe and Gypsy being really good friends in the Justice League Detroit run. Yeah. I was like, oh. But anyway, this was in I believe the late 70s. There was a Justice League Justice Society team up where they got sucked into Apocalypse and they got caught up in the plot when they were trying to resurrect Darkseid.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, and the team like split off into like different groups and different factions. They all went on like individual adventures that then all linked up at the end there. And it's like it wasn't anything that was like, groundbreaking or ground shattering, but like it was a really strong, solid Justice League story. And that's like there were certain things you can do with these characters that the Brian Hitch and then also by the extension toward the start and in the middle there that the Jeff Johns Justice League run, didn't deliver. That I feel like there's a lot of promise here that's not being tapped, man.
Did you expect him to add Lex Luthor and Captain Cold to the league?
I did not expect Johns to do that, and I was really excited about what that was going to do to the team dynamic. Then it turns out that they ultimately didn't do much because Captain Cold made an illusion like he was going to do like a big score, and then wasn't even around that much. Like
that was right around the time Captain Cold when DC, for whatever reason, decided to make him metahuman before they finally came to their senses and was like, let's turn him back into a
like,
dude.
This is a bad idea. Give him his gun back.
No, I'll say this, though. One of the things that threw me off, though, what they did with the Flash Rogues was their idea of, all right, we're going to make them metahumans. And I was like, okay, I guess you can do that, but how?
How? You fuse them with their weapons. I'm like...
You fuse them with their weapons, cool, and then finally they were like, all right, you know what? That was probably a bad idea. Switch that shit back.
And I mean, I'm not mad at it. Try stuff in trying things in the pursuit of something new,
Yeah.
Just new stories, more power. I ain't mad at it.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Like, I agree. They kind of lost like some of the essence of the road, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, I mean, touched on Hydra, touched on that and stuff. But yeah, man, I mean, it's a good segue and stuff. I guess whatever. What was it? Oh, I meant to ask you. So I know Prime, grunts for rightful reasons on this. So Avengers Assemble. Have y'all been really kind of keeping up with that show? Because I fell out.
I feel like I always ask myself, why am I still watching this?
That's the same question I ask myself. I watched the season finale when they fought against Ultron, I guess for the last time, even though it felt like this was the 20th last time they fought Ultron.
Yeah. I'm like, why am I still watching the show? I mean, regardless, you add Black Panther into the show, I'm like, okay, that's nice, but why am I still watching
I think the season 4 is supposed to be Secret Wars, and I'm like, all right, cool, I guess. 'Cause I think Black Panther's supposed to be forming his own Avengers team, and I'm like...
Again?
Yeah. Black Panther's forming new Avengers and
with Ms. Marvel, Ant-Man, Wasp, Captain Marvel, Vision.
You know where I left off at? When they did Thunderbolts and...
Oh, you are way off.
I know, right, man?
I should have stayed back there with you, man.
I used to scratch that. I did watch the Doctor Strange episode, which I thought was actually pretty fine, but like that was where I was at. And then like I watched the episode with the Inhumans and stuff, and I'm like... Okay, what the fuck happened? Like, wow, okay.
I kind of like those episodes to a T, but then again, here's the funny thing was, when I was watching those episodes, Hulk knew more about the Inhumans than the other one.
Well, because of his show tie-in.
Yeah, he has Agents of Smash. Like he worked with them before.
I barely watched that show either.
I barely watched that show too, and I didn't know that show had like 3 seasons.
2.
All right, 2.
But yeah, that show didn't even last long either.
I don't know. I feel Avengers Assemble is just a product of we need to make a cartoon that ties into the MCU very loosely. Go. 'Cause I still remember the first season. I was like, so let me get this right. Avengers are fighting Thanos, and the Guardians aren't there to help him in the finale.
Exactly. Should we talk about the Guardian show? Because I only saw like the first episode. I'm like, yeah, this is not.
It's okay. I
haven't seen an episode because I declined. I refuse.
It's okay, but it's not the best thing to me. Again, it's a product of we got this movie, so let's
make
do
a
this
show out of it.
And the show again takes stuff more so from the comics, but the aesthetics of the characters are kind of like the movies.
Which is really annoying me.
You know, so it's like you take it for what it is, just move on from there. So you know, it is what it is. What can you do? You know, they're going to make it and stuff, and there's another new Spider-Man show, and I'm like, another one, you know, and
I feel like I want to have high hopes for this, but I don't want to have my expectations too high because Ultimate Spider-Man, I saw like a couple of episodes in season 1, and then
it got better in season 2.
Yeah, it got better, and then when season 3 came around, I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, with the Web Warriors, or
all right, the Spider-Verse crossover, I actually enjoyed that. But when season 4 came around, I'm like, okay, why are you guys at season 4? And you title it Versus the
Sinister Six. I'm like, really?
What is wrong with you?
Not even being transparent here, are we? Okay.
Nah. We're clearly like, there were bright moments and stuff because I do appreciate what they did with Amadeus Cho and the spider, the Iron Spider.
Iron
thing.
Spider, yeah.
I thought that was actually pretty interesting. It's like, oh, Amadeus Cho has the Spider-Man armor. All right, cool. That bet. I'm fine with that. I question what they did with Rhino, which I'm like, so he's
making
just
him
a
an
kid.
actual animal Rhino.
Yeah, he's a metahuman now. I'm like, I'd rather you just made him like Mech Rhino, like the Ultimates, if you're gonna do that and stuff. But whatever and stuff. And I do like. You know what's funny? I like Taskmaster's look in Ultimate Spider-Man versus the comics. Shockingly, I don't know why. You think because I'm a sucker for capes on Taskmaster in the comics, so it's like I'm very conflicted by this.
And I have to say, I watched the finale. It had its dramatic moments, minus the fourth wall breaks. Because, I mean, after the first season, the fourth wall breaks got annoying, really, really annoying. Especially in a moment so dramatic where you have Doc Ock that has Aunt May as a hostage, and then you make Spider-Man break the fourth wall. I'm like, okay, really? You did not need a fourth wall break for a moment like that.
Oh man, I mean, yeah. I mean,
And like I'm watching all these shows, and it makes me wish, like, why didn't we get a third season of Earth's Mightiest Heroes?
Hey, money, and also again that MCU synergy.
Yep.
Take it or leave it.
Stop relying on the MCU, Marvel. It's not just your movies.
Hey, did y'all see that picture today of the Guardians ride where we saw Beta Ray Bill's hammer? And
no, I didn't, but I saw that Namor tease.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, so Marvel,
we getting Namor?
Are we getting Beta Ray Bill? Is that what you're saying? Is there a possibility that you're saving that for him possibly being in Thor Ragnarok and you just didn't tell us?
I mean, I hope so, because Beta Ray Bill is based.
I mean, we know Surtur is going to be in Ragnarok, so I'm like, so is Beta Ray Bill chilling somewhere? Like,
exactly.
I mean, if you got Surtur, I mean, that to me just says Beta Ray Bill is like in the wings. Like, come on, man.
Look,
in the wings somewhere.
Right now, we're going to San Diego Comic-Con. If Hall H shows Thor Ragnarok, which I'm pretty sure they will, and they give us that Beta Ray Bill reveal, I'm like, yo, yes.
Oh man,
I don't know if I can contain myself if they say Beta Ray Bill's in there. That would be the best kept secret Marvel has ever done. Period.
I mean,
yeah, there were secrets.
No disrespect to Hulk, but like I would have rather Thor Ragnarok have been Thor and Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, but you gotta give Hulk something to do, so why not?
Yeah, since we haven't gotten a Hulk movie since 2008.
But then my answer to that is like I don't think the solution is to like take two storylines from two different characters and smash them together. Like
I don't even
And
think they take 2 storylines. I think the only thing they did was just to shut people up. It was like, you like Planet Hulk? Well, we're just glad they did Hulk, and that's it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, really? Why would you even have that? Whatever. Do what you do, Marvel Studios.
Like,
do what you do.
Take it or leave it. Like, you want it? We got it. Like, you don't want it? Too bad. You're gonna like it.
I mean, you know what's funny too? I honestly don't know if I can get a read on this Inhumans show.
Me neither. You're not the only
I can't get a read. I don't think it's going to be bad, but I'm just going to feel it's just going to be, okay, that happened, and that's it. That's how I'm feeling it's going to end up being. Where it's like, I just want to see, Black Bolt with the, with the mask and the fork on his head. That's all I want.
Exactly. That's my Black.
I'm glad they're keeping them to just silent and sign language. I'm fine with that.
Yep.
I'm actually happy that they're doing something different with that instead of him just looking at people minutes. Which I think in comics you can do that, but unless you're a really, really good actor and stuff that can actually show those eyes and visually and stuff that you're angry or you're happy or whatever and stuff, fine. But it's like otherwise, it's like, yeah, I guess sign language is fine.
Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I remember reading something that said that he was going to communicate with Medusa telepathically.
Oh, bro.
No, they said strictly sign language. It ain't gonna be telepathically.
Okay, good.
It's like Medusa telepath. What?
Like, no way, no how.
Yeah, but I think they showed like a small teaser trailer. Apparently, it's the typical, as Maximus the Mad being douchey and like, hey, I'm taking over these fucking Inhumans, and
as always,
to me, which I'm like, I'm fine with because everybody needs to know the. Maximus is basically Loki light or better than Loki.
And we got a little tidbit showing of Lockjaw in there as well.
Yeah, I would have been mad if they didn't have Lockjaw in it, honestly.
I'm like, oh no, now that is cool.
I think Lockjaw is going to be the new Groot.
Pretty much.
If it goes in that direction. So, but anyways, folks, yeah, that's it for Comic Book Corner. It's nice getting that out there now. Now we're back into the swinging. So hopefully next time, we can actually dive into more so the comics and stuff, because I also got to catch up with IDW stuff as well. So yeah, as we said before I even started hit record on this and stuff, me and Prime were talking about like more than meets the eye and having to read that. So
I actually started on the IDW Ninja Turtles series. I'm only like 8 issues in, I think, either 8 or 12 issues.
Don't forget to also pick up Secret History of the Foot Clan, because that's a really good miniseries.
Okay. I'm not really one for miniseries though. I want to stick.
It's only 4 issues. You're in and out.
Okay.
But it's I think it's really good because it feeds into what's going on in the main Ninja Turtle series.
Okay.
Cool. So trying to think real quick. Me and Dee this past weekend we got invited to this comic book convention called the East Coast Black Age of Comics and stuff. Basically it was like a lot of black indie comics and stuff. One of them, Marcus Williams, Tuskegee Heirs. I don't know if you guys seen pictures of it and stuff online. We saw it, got the first issue, really good. Definitely draws inspiration from Robotech a little bit, but they also took inspiration from also anime and other things, and also from Life 2 and stuff a little bit and things like that. So yeah, definitely jump on that if you can. They just did an interview for NPR and stuff for the book, so that's going to be cool. We did an interview with them. It's gonna basically be at the beginning of this episode if you guys already didn't pick up on that. So yeah, just definitely check it out. Or I don't know, I might put it at the end of this. Probably should put it at the end of this. Yeah, you know what? I'll put it at the end of this so that way people can listen to it and stuff. So, yeah. But, yeah, we interviewed him there. But, yeah, it was definitely a good convention. Lots of indie comics and stuff. We actually met the guy that did the book Black. I don't know if you guys read that book or not.
Not yet.
Nope.
Yeah, it's basically what if black people had superpowers and stuff, which is...
Ooh.
Yeah, very, very powerful. Very powerful.
I gotta check that out.
Met him and stuff. And, yeah, a lot of content that's out there and stuff like that, and we also kind of got some insiders tracking on, because one thing people don't realize is that and you'll hear it in the interview and stuff, when you have a lot of indie people that do comics and stuff, one of the things that they do know that they're going to get a lot of inroads in is trying to pitch a TV show, and that's one of those things that is tough because trying to pitch a TV show is tough because one, the aspect of a network telling you, oh well, you're gonna have to do this with this character now, or you can't do that. It's like, yeah, they gotta deal with that, and yeah, just a lot of compromises, and sometimes you don't want to compromise and stuff, and it makes sense. You don't want to do that and stuff. So yeah, a lot of stuff with that, and also. Basically, a lot of the people we were talking to was like, yeah, Black Panther coming out. It's going to be an influx of a lot of people trying to scoop up a lot of black characters and stuff. So, get that 8-year window. Get that 8-year window to get all these characters out. So I was like, you know what? Again, just like I said with the Black Cat and Silver Sable, was like, hey, might as well get it while the iron is hot. Because, like I said, if Wonder Woman fucking makes bank at the theater, then Hollywood don't have no excuse not to do women-led heroes and TV shows and movies anymore and stuff. They don't have that excuse and stuff. That's why I feel with Black Panther. If Black Panther blows up as big as it is and stuff, that'll definitely tell Hollywood, okay, I guess black characters do sell. Shit, we were wrong. So but anyways, yeah, that's it. You guys got any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Nope. Not really. We pretty much touched up on the meat of everything.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess
Playing Justice because it's fun.
Yes.
Justice 2 is fun. Like I said, our little small gripes aside, it is a very fun game. Fucking spoiler alert. I like the ending of Injustice 2.
Oh my god. Wait, which
one?
The good one, not the bad one.
Okay.
What's the good one?
The Batman.
Well, first, let's be real about this. You and I both know they're not going to use that Superman ending as the canon one.
No way.
Yeah, no fucking way.
No way in hell. No.
That'd be evil as shit if they went with that, but it's like,
But you know what? How that Injustice universe is set up is the darkest timeline. I could see if they did.
If they didn't give a shit, they probably would go for the evil one. It's like, yo, that is fucked up. Superman literally uses Batman to control him. It's like, oh shit.
I'm like, oh no.
And I'm like, I really love how that Superman is so far gone. It's kind of heartbreaking, but at the same time, like
especially that Wonder Woman.
That Wonder Woman is fucking evil as shit. Like I don't know.
She literally was. She enabled Superman. Basically.
My favorite moment.
She is literally Lady Mac fucking Beth. Like, what the fuck?
Yo, she enabled the shit out of Even Batman caught wind of that shit. Like, hey, dog, Clark wouldn't be in this mess if you didn't push him. Just saying.
My favorite moment when Harley roasted her. I was like, oh, thank you, Harley, for putting that out. I was like, yes.
Oh, my God, man.
Oh, yeah. I know I say this a lot on Twitter, and I'm not going to stop saying it until it happens, but I really want Kingdom Come Superman to meet Injustice Superman and be like, bro, what the fuck?
What have you done?
It's like, whoa, bro, you cross lines here, dog.
Like, you don't understand. I lost Lois. Dude, really?
Wait a minute. Really? What if they brought in... Who do you think is more darker? Injustice Superman or Superboy Prime?
Ooh.
I mean, Superboy Prime, I don't know.
Superboy Prime is a dick.
I'm paying good money to buy that book. I'm telling you that right now. I don't know who's darker, but I'm buying that book. You can't stop me.
Yeah, I mean, I left off at season 2 of Injustice the comic, so I probably got to keep up long ways to go on that. But
I just started. I'm reading the last 9 issues of year 1.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean it's quick reads from what I heard anyway. So it's like
it is. It really is quick.
But but definitely play Injustice at least until Marvel Infinite and Tekken 7 come out. So
yep.
Just saying, So. But anyways, that is Comic Book Corner. So thank you guys for joining in, and we will catch you guys later. Peace out.
Avita's in.